Okay, we are live. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Holy Humanist. Disclaimer, it's like the hottest day of the year in London, so I am dying. So if I have to turn my camera off and rearrange my fan at any point of this stream, I apologize. And if my hair progressively gets more and more like Monica's from Friends, then I apologize. It's just literally sweltering. But anyway, this is going live on YouTube and X, formerly Twitter. So hi to everybody that's already here. I know so many of you are excited about this chat, just like me, because I'm going to pick the brains today of, I think, one of the most knowledgeable ex-Muslim YouTubers out there. And this has been a long time coming because I've learned so much from watching his streams over the years. And honestly, as I said in my last video, I learned something new every single time. So I am truly honored to have the one and only Adam Seeker here with us today. And yeah, we're gonna discuss a little bit about his story. We're gonna touch on jihad and kind of just a free-for-all, but a lot of focus on jihad, and we'll take questions as well if you guys and girls have any. So without further ado, I will bring on Adam Seeker himself. Hey, Adam.
Hello there, this is your favorite Murtad, Adam Seeker, live with Holy Humanist. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, but I don't think UK has enough summers to be called hot.
Adam, if you were here today, I swear everything you ever thought about this country, you would be like, okay, you know what? You guys are right. This is my hands are sweating. If I could show you right now, it's insane. There's no wind. It's just pure like heat that's just stuck. And because we have carpets in our houses, they're not used to letting heat escape. But yeah, whew. Anyway, I
I
grew
am
up in
so
the Middle
sorry.
East, so I'm used to ACs all the time.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm very used to of like 40 degrees Celsius, 45, 48. That's kind of a common when the feel like is 50, 55 very easy.
with AC
So
though, right?
yeah, AC is inside the house, not
Yeah.
outside the house.
Yeah, but you're not chilling outside. You're just doing your stuff and coming back
I have to, I
home.
have to, I have to call my driver and I have to say, hey, turn on the AC on my car. I'm gonna come down and then I'm gonna sit in and then drive my way to office. So yeah, there is some luxury when you have some money in your
Astaghfirullah.
pocket.
Look at this privileged lifestyle you live as a murtad.
Not as a
um,
murtad. I'm talking about when I was a Muslim. As a
oh,
murtad, things are
wow.
way different.
Better, right, Adam? Better. Anyway, can you just explain for the like English speaking audience what a murtad is just to get going?
Murtad is the one who left Islam. Simple. Who has done the action of apostasy. Apostate, you usually call them apostate in Arabic. It's murtad. Murtad who has done the irtad of Islam, like left Islam, as simple as it is.
And Adam, just to confirm that essentially you have committed irtad or whatever it's called in Arabic, which is essentially the same as treason or something, right? Going against the state of Islam, and therefore your punishment is death
That
or execution. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, yes, our punishment is that, and because there are multiple hadiths, and one of the most famous hadiths, which is you can see in all of the siyasata, the correct or the authentic Sahih books of Islam, and it says, "Man baddala deenhu fa'aqtulu." Whoever has changed his religion, kill him. And there is another hadith which is there in narrated by Ibn Abbas and other scholars in the Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari. It says that uh, you can only kill for in three reasons. One of the reason is that a person who kill for somebody, if he has killed for somebody, for example, like if somebody kills somebody, you can kill the person because he has killed somebody. The second reason is if he has performed adultery, which is sex out of marriage. And the third reason is the person who has left Islam. So there are multiple ahadith narrations which clearly says, and they are in Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Ibn Dawood, Ibn Majah, Tirmidhi, Sunan Nasai, that the life of a murtad is a life which has no meaning, which has no value. And if you go into fiqh of Islam and shara of Imam Shafi and Imam Hanbal and Imam Malik as well, that as because they have left Islam, their value is nothing. They are less than animals. So you can kill them. And there are certain sub narrators which goes into more derogatorized punishment as well, like the one of the Jalil Qadr Sahabi of Muhammad, his name is Khalid bin Walid. Jalil Qadr is exalted. Okay, so he actually killed a Murtad. His name was Nawaira, Malik ibn Nawaira. So he killed him. Then he took a hatas. Hatas is like a big pot. Put some water in it, boiled it, killed the murtad, put the head of the murtad in the boiling hot water, cooked it, and ate it, and made the rest of the people eat it as well with him. And then he had performed sex on the same night with his wife. So if you look at the life of the companions of Prophet, for example, if you don't even go all the way down to Khalid ibn Walid, let's go to Abu Bakr. And as soon as Muhammad died, Abu Bakr became the caliph, and the Islamic nation did not go beyond that area. Why? Because they were fighting against Irtad. So this is called Harbur Rida. Rida means the one who has left the Islam. Harb means war. So he did a year and a half long fight just to kill the Murtads, just to kill the people who has left Islam. So yeah, you cannot go beyond all of these companions of Muhammad, the caliphs, and even in Muhammad's own life. Ali burned a couple of people who has left Islam. This is in Sahih Muslim, just because they have left Islam. And Ibn Abbas said, you shouldn't be burning them. But yes, you should actually kill them because they left Islam, but you shouldn't be burning them. So all of them there is just, it's just a undeniable fact to say that you cannot kill a mortal. There's no
And Adam,
life for a mortal.
sorry, yeah, just to follow up on that exact, because murtad me, I mean, as you said, what you described, it is way more than just like not believing. It's almost like a pejorative. It's an insult of the worst kind. It's almost like, you know, an apartheid state between non-believers and Muslims. But the reason that's also interesting that you mentioned you shouldn't burn them, because and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe burning is like a punishment that's reserved for hell, that
Allah,
only
for
Allah
Allah.
cannot give
Yes.
you. Exactly. Yeah, so no Muslim even should be doing that to anybody else, because that punishment, burning you guys, is only reserved for Allah, like Allah. Only He can do that. Um, but yeah, okay, that was a great introduction into all the things that Adam and I currently are. In a perfect Islamic state, that's what we would be considered, and I guess that's why we're here on YouTube and we are calling out Islam for what it is. So Adam, just to kind of, there's probably a lot of people here that already know and love you, as I can see from the comments. But just to give kind of some of my new viewers some kind of background and insight into what kind of Muslim were you when you were growing up, or when you were still believing, and how seriously did you take this?
I was a Sunni Muslim, uh, comes from a very renowned family, and I will not go in more detail except for that. But when it comes to a life of a Muslim, there are always ups and downs. Most of my life I spent in a very nice religious manner. Most of my life, there were obviously, when you grow up, when you are in your teenagers, when you are in your 20s, there are times when you actually divert a little. That's just such common thing, to divert a little. But yet there was never a time when I left a single fast of Ramadan. There was always a time when I was offering prayer. If I was not offering 5 times prayer, I was at least offering 1 or 2 prayers. Uh, yes, there were times when I was skipping prayers. Yes, I was. There's like, it's the reality of life. And then there was time when I was in wudu, in the state of ablution, the perfect state of being holiness, all my day. So even if I had to release, like, what do you call it in a nice way, gas, or the proper term is fart, I would actually go and perform the wudu again, just because I did that, and so on and so forth. So I was always remaining in the state of ablution. I wake up in the morning, go perform a ghusl, and then do my fajr prayers, and then I start my day, get out the house, do the outside the house prayer, and then get into my car, do the prayer of the travel. Then I go to my office and do salam alaikum to my office, even nobody is listening or whatsoever, and all that kind of stuff. And then, the whole life is scheduled, predetermined. And ghusl, when you say ghusl, I was not taking a shower. Ghusl is to do shower in a particular manner with actions in a particular manner. You just can't open the shower and put it in your head. You have to do cleansing of your nose, cleansing of your mouth, cleansing of your throat, and then do it like 3 times on your right side, 3 times on your left side, and so on and so forth. So it's a ritual that you have to perform in every day of your life. So most of my life, you would say, I spent in a nice Muslim manner. That's how I would say my life. Like I was off, like specific days of Islam that the Shab Barat, the Shab Miraj, and all of these, and the birthday of Muhammad that we call as a Eid as well. um, I would actually remain in mosque all night long, perform the namaz tasbih as well, the prayer of tasbih after midnight,
Oh
do long
wow, Adam, you
qiyams,
were
and
dedicated.
not, yeah, well, kind of, not too much, but kind of. Like I would stay in the mosque for the last 5 days or last 3 days or last 9 days, depending on my college and school and office schedule and stuff like that, to do
Not 10 days,
itikaf in.
astaghfirullah. You were never Muslim to begin with.
Yeah, but I was like, moderate plus kind of a Muslim, let's just put it this way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're moderate plus plus for sure because you're going above moderates. Because I'd like to consider myself moderate, and no, I think the bar is low. Like just reading Jummah is not enough. Like even in Islam, if you miss three Friday prayers in a row, you're not considered Muslim anymore. So a lot of really like liberal Muslims who don't really pray, they miss two and then they freak out that they won't be Muslim. So then they read the third one.
That's the bare minimum kind of a standard. That's, you won't call them moderate plus Muslims. You would call them munafiqeen, hypocrites, because they
Um,
according to Islam, they'll be burning in hell. Like, quite frankly, like there's no way how I can explain it.
oh
Like,
yeah,
even in Islam, if you are that kind of a Muslim, because Muhammad said in the Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari, it says the difference between a non-Muslim and a Muslim is prayer. So if you are not even offering the basic prayers, the five compulsory prayers, like, you are not even a Muslim according to Muhammad. And according to Quran, you are a munafiq.
yeah,
You are a hypocrite. And according to
yeah,
Quran, chapter number 4, verse number
absolutely.
144, 145, the the munafiqeen are going to go in the depths of hell. Like, not in a normal hell. So, as a kafir, if you are going to burn in hell, the hypocrites are going to be the fuel of the hell. So they are going to burn the fire on which the rest of the people will going to be burned.
Yeah, and I mean, those people will be watching with enjoyment at the burning of the hypocrites. It's almost like sadistic. You're watching it with such pleasure, this level of torture. But Adam, just to touch on two things there, obviously, like you were describing, okay, there's okay, so the first thing is like the way you were describing the it's more than a shower. Certain times where you have to perform things Islamically to be able to be purified again, or to be in a state of purification where you're able to offer the prayer, otherwise you're not. And something as simple as passing wind can break that. So I just want to ask your opinion on, do you not think, like, and again, you've probably seen in the hadith and everything you've kind of read about Islam, that Muhammad had some kind of obsession with the number three. But do you not find all of these kind of like the you have to determine, like every time you step in the toilet you have to use your right foot, the way you take a leak as a man is police, the way you sip water in three gulps, the way you have to sit down, like, do you not think this is like excessive, almost like OCD type behavior within Islam?
There are so many OCD type of behaviors in Islam, but this is this is probably one of them. And yes, Muhammad was
Even three
obsessed
rocks,
with.
Adam, to wash your bum. Sorry, like three.
True that, without a doubt, true that. But that, like, I cannot stay here. Like, we can actually go beyond these basic dilemmas of Islam. Like, Muhammad was obsessed with the with three things, and I don't know, maybe he was stealing stuff from the Christians, and then Muhammad would be obsessed with seven, number seven, right? The 7, 70, and 72. So, and then 40, 40. Why would Muhammad be obsessed with these specific numbers? Like, quite frankly, like, if you ask me, I cannot put a finger on a particular thing, because quite frankly, it's just impossible to say whether he was influenced by the people over there or not. Because if you look at Sabi'ins, right before Muhammad, there was another cultish movement which were called Sabi'ins.
Yes,
One of
they're
the main
mentioned in
book
the
is
Quran
called,
as well, aren't they?
exactly, in chapter number 2 as well. And in the initial phase of Islam, Muhammad said, Indeed, the Jews and Christians and the Sabi'ins who believe in Allah in the last day are going to go into heaven as well. They have nothing to worry about. But Sabi'ins, if you look at those Sabi'ins, and we have the book for Sabi'ins, it's called Ginza Rabba left and Ginza Rabba right. And if you look at the Sabi'ins, you would see that they are doing the evolution just like that. If anybody
Yeah.
has any doubt, they can go and Google it and say the evolution method for Sabi'ins, and you will see the evolution method for Sabi'in. He was taking it from there, because like I cannot pinpoint where he was. Like if you look at Sabi'ins in the book of Sabi'ins, Ginza Rabba left, you will see the first chapter of Ginza Rabba is Tawheed, the chapter of Tawheed, and all the names of Allah
Wow.
plus some are there in the chapter of Tawheed of uh, of Ginza Rabba. And like a lot of people in the West actually says, oh, Muhammad said, Allah said in Quran, all the angels bow down to Adam, yet why did he punish Iblis? But the answer is in Ginza Rabba, because in Ginza Rabba you will see only 3 of the angels were made of light, the rest of the angels were made of fire. So there were angels of fire in Ginza Rabba, and probably Muhammad put Iblis as the angel of fire as well. And then the Islamic Quran actually modified and changed and whatsoever, and things got different. But this is the angel of fire is in Ginza Rabba. So they have angel which are made out of fire in Ginza Rabba. So I don't know how I can correlate whether it was an OCD, whether it was something that he's taking from other religious ideologies. If you ask me, I won't be able to put a finger on it.
Yeah, but and for sure. And like you said, then you see a recurring pattern of numbers sometimes, whether it's 3 or 7 or 72 or 40 or whatever. And again, like a lot of these things, that's why I find it interesting because, and you've obviously done a deep dive, but as soon as you look at some level, I'd say Muhammad, if he existed, let's say, but Muhammad or whatever they've done to collate Islam has been copy pasted from somewhere or something previously. Like very much the kind of mannerisms of even how you do ablution and how you perform ablution. You can see it across, like you said, even the Sabians were doing something similar. I've seen even certain sects of Hindus perform something, a ritual very, very similar to before they meditate. And then you see it like, across different things. So there is always this question of where this material has been lifted from, whether it's like Gnostic Christian elements, whether it's Zoroastrian elements, whether it's pre-Islamic, it's all just a mishmash. But I love always seeing like where these copy paste kind of have come in from and found their way into Islam. The other thing before we get into the meaty stuff of the discussion today is just I want your thoughts on prayer and like reading prayer 5 times a day, because I think somebody under one of my YouTube comments, we were discussing prayer and somebody made a really good point where if you think about a lot of Islam, how it's so controlling and it keeps you in check and it's such a like militaristic religion, somebody thought about the idea of going to having the azan or the call to prayer called 5 times a day and expecting all the men to come and congregate together. It almost, Adam, and work with me here, like take it anywhere you want, but doesn't it feel like a kind of roll call, like a military roll call 5 times a day, just to check where are the troops, what's going on, is everybody still on side, and then this fasting during Ramadan, if you take things like, I know fasting was prevalent during that time, and again, it was done for spiritual reasons of purification or whatever. But again, you could put it in a way of thinking maybe Muhammad was gearing up his army to train for when they had to be in battles and they didn't necessarily have a decent amount of food and drink on them all the time, and then obviously the promise of war booty and capturing sex slaves and all of that. It's like the perfect recipe for keeping an army in check. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you. I agree with you. The way Muslim offer prayer, it's like the one guy in the front, and you can't even see that guy, and you have to follow him on the on a voice. So whatever the voice is, you have to follow him blindly whatsoever. and that's a full stop. And there's a row that you have to make, a straight row, and the shoulder to shoulder. And if there is gap between the shoulder, the Satan will come in and start doing something in the middle, and all of that kind of it's like a perfect role model for how you actually go into battle in those days, in those early days, that role like battles and following the lead of the commander in the front. But it's nothing like that in the Quran. If you look, if you leave the hadith and leave the seerah and leave the fiqh, nothing like that is in the Quran. Quran talks about three prayers, right? And how do you offer prayer? That's not even in the Quran. So prayer is supplication. It says salat, right? It simply says, the Arabic word is salat. Salat comes from prayer, supplication, dua, right? And how do you pray? It's not mentioned. So that is why if you see the Quran only Muslims, they don't pray 5 times, they actually pray 3 times. And they don't pray the way the Muslims pray, because Quran talks about three prayers. Where did the Quran took these three prayers? They took it from the Bible. If you look at the chapter of Daniel, chapter number 6, or Psalms, chapter number 22, you will see they are mentioned of praying 3 times. So 3 times means remember your Lord 3 times in a day. And if you look at the Old Testament, Dadike 8:2, you will actually see that Jewish people still pray 3 times. It's not the prayer like the prayer of the Muslims. It's just like you gotta just remember your Lord and pray. Full stop. So, and then you talked about other religions. If you look at the bridge of Sirat, right? It is actually taken from Zoroastrianism. Like if you look at the Zoroastrian books,
Yeah,
you will
yeah.
see the
Sorry,
bridge
just to
Shivant.
explain to people what Adam was talking about is exactly what my last video was on when I went on this little like rant about it's that bridge that you're expected to walk on the day of judgment, and the bridge represents the Sirat al-Mustaqim, which is the right path. So the bridge is called the Bridge of Sirat, and then yeah, Adam, do you want to explain where they've lifted it
Yeah,
from, the
that
concept?
that that is actually taken from the Zoroastrianism. In the Zoroastrianism, one of the main book of Zoroastrians, it talks about the bridge Shivant. Unless you cross the bridge Shivant, you will not be able to enter heaven. And then if you look at the seven heavens where Muhammad actually went into and knocked at the doors and stuff like that, that is actually in the Zoroastrian religion in their books. And I've shown it in my English channel as well, Adam Seeker, as you might have seen it. And I've shown the books, and I've shown you how that guy, what's his name? I forgot his name. He actually moves into different heavens.
Ahura
Zohra,
Mazda?
eh,
Oh, Zohra.
Ura
Yeah,
Mazda,
yeah,
yes, he he
yeah.
he
Okay.
moves into different heavens and flies to the seventh heaven and does all of that. So you will see that all of these things, these stories, and that is why Quran actually talks about it. If you look at the Quran in chapter number 17, verse number 59, give me miracle. There's no miracle. This is the word of the God. Okay, so if then what is it? What are you showing? You are just giving the fables and the legends of the past. That is, I think, 25. It's in 25:5. Let me just verify before I say something, because I forgot the reference of it from the Quran.
Yeah,
And
sure.
yeah, this is chapter 25:5. So in 25 verse number 5, that's where it says that, Muhammad, what are you doing? You are just giving us the legends and the stories of the past. And that's exactly what Muhammad
Yes.
was doing. Exactly what he was doing.
Absolutely. They weren't even impressed with him at the time. They literally said these are stories of the past that we're told. You're just retelling old tales and fables. Exactly. So yeah, it's again, somebody has also commented here, Genshin Impact, that Zoroastrians believe in a flying donkey that took their leader Zarathustra to heaven. Yeah, exactly. Very, very similar concepts lifted pretty
It's
much
not a
out,
donkey
and
there.
not
It's
a
a
donkey.
horse
So what
there.
is it? It's the
Muhammad
horse.
had something smaller than horse, bigger than donkey, so a mule. So yeah, so nobody had donkey, by the way. It's
Yeah, but
unbelievable.
Adam,
Nobody
the
had a donkey.
wingspan of that Burak, the wingspan is insane, right? Like his wingspan from I don't know where. Yeah, it was is insane, and it had the face of a woman, kind of, which
Yes,
um
in an other not very authenticated references, it's has a face of a woman and a tail of a peacock.
Yeah, and Gabriel even punched it in the face once. If anybody, that's also in there somewhere. But yeah, so anyway, these stories, obviously, you can tell there's a lot of historical context behind them, and it's for me anyway. I find it really fascinating to know where they kind of have their roots based in anyway. Um, but yeah, Adam, just coming back to you. So you were, I'd say, a pretty good Muslim at the time. Like you said, every Muslim has their lapses. You know, you can't maintain that kind of religiosity and dedication all the time. But so what happened? What made you think, if everything I'm doing is right, should I be, believing in this? Is this necessarily the truth? Why did you even begin to question?
Yeah, because I wanted to convert a Christian.
Oh, wow. That's so interesting. Okay, so you were gearing up to actually convert somebody, a
I had
Christian,
done
into
that in
your
Pakistan a
true
lot.
faith. Right,
Yeah,
right.
I've done that
Okay.
a lot in Pakistan, and I actually had the opportunity to come abroad and meet with more of a, what do you call it, journal population. Like in Pakistan, I was when I would go to tabligh. Uh, how do you translate tabligh in English?
It's almost like I guess proselytizing time, like when you proselytize Islam, you're on a mission to do
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
work with different people. So I would leave my nice bed, nice mattress, like 12-inch thick hybrid spring memory foam mattress, and sleep on a chatai made out of those stupid leaf things. I don't know how to actually pronounce it.
So
I'm so sorry.
basically,
My English is really
Adam's
bad.
standard of life went from being on a memory foam, nice setup, to literally on like a bunch of twigs because he's trying to,
Yeah, correct. So yeah,
yeah.
that's like I would go there for 3 days or 5 days. Then that's what I would do almost every other year. And like I have to eat in a plastic plates, imagine, over there. And that's disgusting for me. Back in those days when I was a Muslim, I had a good life, but I would do that for Allah. And I would make non-Muslims Muslims, and I would go even to the hypocrite Muslim houses, and I would tell them, hey, why are you not going to the prayer and all that kind of stuff. So I've been doing all that. So I came to abroad, and there was a Christian, and I started to have a discussion with him, and I had no idea who the hell is David Wood, and I had no idea that there's Christian Prince, and I had no idea about what is happening in the outside world about Islam, and I was like a naive Muslim who had no idea whatsoever what is happening in the world, and not knowing that this guy actually knows stuff. He listens to David Wood, and he listens to Christian Prince, and he listens to Apostate Prophet. And Apostate Prophet was really new back in those days. He was like very new, but he was making the video where there is a drum roll in the start, and the lines coming up, and shank shank shank, like the early days of Apostate Prophet. And I had no idea about that. I was totally blind to that. And Sira International, Al Fadi hasn't even started a channel. He had a couple of sessions as a ex-Muslim from Saudi. That I'm talking about those days. And uh, right now, like even holes in the narratives has not even started into being. Like I'm talking
Oh
about
wow,
before holes in the narrative.
this is
And
early days. Yeah.
and then he put me in the corner. And I was like, no, how can this Christian, this filthy Christian, would know more than me? It's not possible. I'm gonna demolish him. And I went back and studied, and I would give him another thing, and he'd destroy me, and I would give him another thing, and then he will, and then we go in back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back. And finally, after a year or so, he said, listen to this guy. And that was David Wood. The very first time that I could ever hear something so insane about Islam. Like David Wood, that that guy smiles and mock our prophet. And I'm talking about the old David Wood, not the new David Wood, okay?
What did you hear,
And
Adam, that made you squeal? Like, how could you say that with
exactly
such chest?
all of these things. I don't even remember what video that I watched, but I watched like the same day. I watched maybe 10, 20 of his videos. He has
Right.
that Hogan show with Sam Shamoun, the Hogan show, and all that kind of stuff, and Boom Boom Room, and all these. And
Yeah.
then like there's so many things that I've watched, and I was like, this guy is absolutely insane, and all that. But like everything I go and study, what he was showing, it was right there. Like when I was a Muslim in Pakistan, we never had. I never studied the whole Sahih Muslim, the whole Sahih Bukhari. We had a very small book which is called the Sahih Ahadith, the collection of Sahih Ahadith, and it's a very small book. So they had all the goody hadiths in it, all the goody hadiths. They never showed the bad hadiths. They only showed the goody hadiths. And I was like, I knew Islam. I studied the books, and then I heard this guy, and that guy led me to Christian Prince, and I was like, I have to demolish this idiot. And I don't know, I'm censoring my abuse that I gave to Christian Prince, quite right. Like the the type of
Oh
abuse
my
that I
God.
have given to Christian Prince um, are are not something that I would say live on this channel at this moment. But
Yeah.
you
Wow,
can
Adam, if
put
it's that
all
bad.
the
Whew.
all the you can think of all the like mother daughter sister kind of abuses in your
Yeah.
mind that you never hear. But long story short, 3 years down the road, I was a person who said Quran is the perfect word of God. Hadiths are all stupid, idiotic, and they're all made up fabrications, and you cannot believe in any hadith. So my
So you were
rock
a
that I could stand.
Quranist. Let's just
Then I
right.
became a
Okay.
Quranist, right? When I became a
And did that
Quranist,
did
mhm,
sorry, just did that stop you from going from praying 5 times a day according to the hadith now to just doing them? You can remember God 3 times.
no, I was like, the hadiths about how to pray are not there in the siyasata. It's a tradition.
Okay.
So you need to understand
Okay.
there are some things which are called action and traditions, and there are some things which are called hadiths. So prayers are in tradition. So I was still following the prayer
Mhm.
tradition,
Right.
but I was not following the hadiths. And I was like, Sahih or Daif, it doesn't matter because there are so many disgusting Sahih hadiths that I just left it. Like, how can when I made my first home, I was very particular on where my commode seat would be because
Your
I don't
toilet
want
seat.
to
Yeah.
toilet seat because I don't want it to face or backside of it towards Kaaba. And then I read in Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari that Muhammad was urinating towards Kaaba. Muhammad was doing poo-pooing with his back towards Kaaba. And like it's unbelievable. Like my bed is placed in such a way that even if I tilt on my bed, my legs will not face the Kaaba whatsoever. So everything in my house was placed in such a way that if I sit on a sofa and I put my legs on my stool, my legs will not point towards Kaaba. Like you have
Oh
no
my
idea. And
God.
when I was reading these things, it's just like, what was Muhammad doing? Like it just destroys you internally if you look at it. Like as a person who was not following these things versus the person who has been following these things, it's very different. Like if you have never done that and you have never thought about these things, for you it doesn't matter enough. But the person who has lived his life to do these things, like every time he would think what he is doing, what his actions are, what his placement of feet are, what like it, you can't comprehend what I went
No,
through when
this
I
is
read
too
all of this.
much, Adam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're trying to actually like you're actually considering it. Like, how do I, like stay mindful of all of this when you did believe in the hadith anyway? Like, that's too much. It is literally too much. That's why they're obsessed with like even if a shoe is facing upwards, you've got to go and like flip it around because it's facing towards God. You're constantly on alert.
Exactly. And that the hadith is actually destroyed it fully whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm a Quran only. Quran is the perfect word of Allah. And there comes um Hatun Tash bringing up
Hmm.
so many Qurans. And I was like, I started searching on that. And I was like, I need to study. Quran is the perfect word of Allah. And I found Hatun Tash, which brought up back in those days 30 versions or 31 versions of Quran in Arabic. And I was like, that's not that's not good. And then she brought up the guy with a beard, the white guy with the beard. And I was like, who's this white Christian with a beard? They don't know jack about Islam. And I studied him and I realized he did a debate with Shabir Ali. That white guy with a beard is Jay Smith. And I was like, I gotta watch this video, this debate. And that's like a 2 hours long debate. It's called the classical debate between Jay Smith and Shabir Ali. Shabir Ali gave the opening to Jay Smith, and Jay Smith gave an absolute destroying, destructive opening in the first 20 minutes. He just destroyed Quran whatsoever and the perfect preservation of Quran. And I'm talking before the holes in narrative. That debate actually happened in 2012, and I was watching it much later in the game, but before the holes in narrative. So I watched that and I was like, I was waiting for Shabir Ali, the PhD professor, written 8 books in about Islam. And I was like, this guy is gonna destroy him fully. And he came up and he started talking about 19, the miracle of 19. And I knew back at that time that the miracle of 19 is debunked. It's the miracle which was created by a false prophet, Rashad Khalifa, and it's debunked and it's destroyed. And I was and I was sitting and watching it, and I was shouting in my own home on front of a laptop, and I was shouting at Shabir Ali. And I was like, you idiot, you maniac, you BSTRD. Why are you not answering what the questions that he raised? And this debate was like the final straw, like, it's the final nail in the coffin, that like there's no Quran. And I that the next 5-6 days I was just searching about the perfect preservation of Quran, and I couldn't find it. You just there's no perfect preservation of Quran. There is no early Quran. Rather, there are thousands of narrations that Quran was changed. It was changed. The
Yeah.
early Quran was over 7,000 verses. Sorry, 17,000 verses. Right now, the Quran has what, 6,200 verses, 6,300 verses.
Oh, thank God, it's already so bad.
Yeah, so
I don't need any more of that nonsense.
so where is the perfect preservation? It went down the drain. And just
And
like a
where
few
was it,
years later,
Adam? Sorry.
yes,
Also, where was it when the goat ate it, or the tame sheep ate it? Where was it then? Even during that time, I mean, I'm grateful to that goat or sheep or whatever it was forever, because the world would be a much like more disgusting place than it already is if the Quran also had those verses. I'm talking about the breastfeeding and adult verses, right? Which
breastfeeding adult and
right.
stoning.
Yes, exactly. So those two were lost in time, and I don't even care how, but thankfully they were. But yeah, no, Adam, I want you to continue on this Quranist route as well, and like the so you've watched Hatun as well. But I just wanted to bring up one point. Just for Quranists who do come and say you don't need to pray 5 times a day, I know when you switched to becoming a Quranist, you said that you still kept it because, in a way, you're right. It's tradition. So how the hell are you supposed to know how Muhammad prayed unless you go back to the tradition, right? Which is what he did. But technically, like, can somebody argue with you that being a Quranist, you don't necessarily have to do what you did? You could just say, oh, I remembered Allah in my heart today, like I meditated and thought about him. That's also okay according to the Quran?
Yes, that is also
Okay.
okay. And I was a hypocrite at that particular time because I have been following prayer for all my life, and it was not like, for me, it's a part of life. Like, what do you do when you wake up? You you wash your face probably, I don't know, or brush your teeth. I don't know. So that's like a part of your life. If one day you will not brush your teeth, you will miss something, right? You'll feel a guilt, right? It's the same kind of a thing. For me, even though that I was a hypocrite, I was a munafiq at that particular time by following a tradition when I actually destroyed all the hadiths, because tradition comes from the hadiths anyways, because it comes from the chain of narrations anyways. So if the chain of narrations are untrue, I shouldn't be praying. But it was such a part of my life that I was willing to be a munafiq. I was willing to be a hypocrite and keep on doing it. And like when I left Islam, I actually offered a very long Isha prayer, done all the 17 rakahs, and then an extended sajda. And in my witr, I did an extended qiyam, and I was doing all, and I was like, and then the next day when I did not do anything, the night came in, and I called in the same guy, and I called, and I was like, you know what you did? You destroyed me. You destroyed my life. I did not offer prayer the whole day. I did not do ghusl early in the morning. I took a shower. I took a shower. That was devastating for me, that I actually took a shower. I went in head first. That was a devastating thing for me. I took a shower. I did not offer fajr. I did not offer zohar. I did not offer asr. I did not offer maghrib, and I was devastated. When I sat in my car, I started praying Subhanallah, Ji Sakhar Lana, and I stopped myself right there and was like, "No, I'm not going to offer prayer of the travel. I will not." I went. I came into my office, and instead of praying Allah la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum, I stopped myself right there and then. No, I'm not going to recite it. And you know that that consistent, when you drive, you don't drive because you have to change the gear or you have to press on. You are using a muscle memory. After a certain hour of driving, you don't perform the action by thinking. You perform
Yeah,
the
you're
action
like on
because of your.
autopilot. Yeah.
Exactly. And I was on that particular autopilot, and that muscle memory, I had to force myself to stop at every single part of my day. When I went into the bathroom to urinate, I don't just wash my hands, I start performing ablution. I had to stop myself to perform ablution right there and then. Like
Wow.
it's it's an action that I had to do with the mind not to do. You see what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
reversal of a human behavior. When the body is saying do this and you are not doing this, it's a reversal of that. So I was devastated that night. I called in the same guy who made me go into this path to figure out Islam. I called him in and I went out with him, and I I just blasted at him. I started calling him names. I abused him. Like, you destroyed everything. I'm in this absolute big world, and I have no hope, and I have nothing, and all my life was in vain, because Allah is not the true God, Muhammad is not a true prophet, and it's just devastating for me. It's I cried publicly in front of
Oh,
him while abusing him. And like, I don't know, I usually never cry, and if I have to cry, I cry in my room. That was the day when I cried publicly, and I still remember it. I still remember this day. That was just devastating for me. Like, what just happened? My world just flipped upside down. You know.
yeah. Oh my gosh. No, Adam, you took me on that journey because I can really like imagine what you were going through in that moment, because I think so many of us, when we have that moment of shock realization that, wait, have I been lied to my entire life? Like, at least I think that I'm smart, or I at least know what I was being told or what I read. But I mean, surprisingly, like, they hid a lot of, like what you said, you discovered from hearing Hatun Tash speak, what David Wood was saying, that kind of stuff that shocked you, how Shabir Ali had no defense. You were like, wow, I have been misled about so many things. And yeah, how does a human being deal with that? Like, your whole world comes crashing down. I remember the exact same moment that I realized as well. Thankfully, there was nobody else around me, or nobody that I had been squaring up with that I had to take it out on. But I felt that all myself, like a thousand glass shatter. So I completely relate to what you're saying, and like that is probably one of the hardest moments for any, I guess, really like religious, anybody that took their religion even an iota seriously. Like, and I mean, even if you didn't pray 5 times a day, you didn't keep up with all of Ramadan or all of the, you know, extra things you need to get brownie points to do it. If you genuinely had love and belief for this guy called Allah in your heart and his prophet, that Muhammad, it really is a shock to the system when you hear people like David Wood or Apostate Prophet kind of just mock them, or like Hatan Tash say there's more Quran variants, or them say Muslims themselves come out and say there's holes in the narrative. So Adam, is it safe to say that it was the power of, I guess, the internet as well that kind of shook you? And obviously it was the desire to bring this guy into Islam, but was it also you listening to these other voices that kind of shook your faith?
Yeah, absolutely. Power of the internet, and not like, the beautiful part of internet is you don't have to buy these books. These books are expensive. If you want to buy these books, these are very, very expensive. And on the internet, you can just download the whole PDF. So if you don't believe in sunnah.com, I have the PDFs of all the books of the Siyasita. I have the PDFs of, like, my online library is almost in gigabytes. Sorry, my bad, gigabytes. I have an online library of books which consist of almost 90 gigabytes. These are just books that I have accumulated in many years, read almost 70% of them, right? And I'm still reading the rest of them. So whenever I go out for my holidays, for my vacations, I kind of tend to finish a book. That's one of my favorite thing to do. Like, I sit on the night fire, that you call, what do you call it in UK, campfire kind of a thing, or next to the pool, and I will start reading books. And I read because, Islam is such a hidden thing. It's the first aura of Islam is very pious, very nice, very beautiful. If you look at Islam from the words of these scholars of Islam, it's a very beautiful thing. It's like, when you eat a pill of Tylenol or something, they're sweet from outside. They're very sweet. You put it in your tongue and it's sweet. But as soon as the sweetness finishes, the absolute bitterness comes into play. And the 90% of it is absolute bitterness. The 10% on the outside is sweet. You have to look at it in detail. Like, let me give you an example. The most verse that these people will give to you is chapter number 5, verse number 32. What is it? If you kill a soul, you have killed the
It's
whole
like you've killed all of
humanity.
mankind. Yeah.
Oh my God, you just killed the whole mankind. But even in that verse, if you look at it, even if you say that this is not for the Bani Israel, if you forget that this is their current Sharia as well, like, forget the basic polemics against this verse, that this verse is taken from Mishrad, the Jewish interpretations, and forget that, and forget even that this verse is saying that Allah said to children of Israel, the Bani Israel. Forget all that, right? If you look at it, whoever kills a soul, unless for a soul or for the corruption in the land. So the person has to be not doing corruption in the land. What is corruption in the land? To go
Oh my God,
against
Adam.
Allah and
Anything.
Muhammad,
Yeah.
right? So you need to understand this verse. If you're going against Allah and Muhammad, you're doing corruption in the land. If you're doing corruption in the land, you should be killed. Full stop. So even the most spoken verse in the history of Islamic scholars is absolutely against them. Because what is corruption in the land? Worshipping the idols. It's corruption in the land. Worshipping the cross. By the way, no Christian worship the cross. Quran says that they're worshipping the cross, but that's separate. Uh, it's corruption in the land. Drinking alcohol, corruption in the land. Not eating halal meat, corruption in the land. Like, every single thing that you can kill them, destroy them, obliterate them. This is the verse they don't even speak fully. They don't. They do not speak fully. They
Absolutely.
skip
I
this
mean, Barack
part
Obama,
from the middle.
even, yeah, exactly. Even Barack Obama just lifted
Is it me or is it Holy? Who is stuck? Somebody is stuck. Okay, Holy, you're
It was
back. Can you
me.
say something? It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
you.
sorry.
Okay.
I was
Speak
just,
again.
yeah.
Speak again.
No, I was just saying if Barack Obama said the next three lines, it would change the game. Just literally say the next three lines, and you get a lot more of the message that you're trying to preach using the Quran changes completely. It flips on its head, essentially. Um,
So
can you hear me clearly?
it's yeah. Now I can hear
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Let me show you. Let me show this verse. I
Yeah.
like to show and present. There you go. So it's not the next three lines. It's in the middle. So imagine they skip that part. Whoever kills, whoever kills a soul, unless for a soul, it is as if he has slain the mankind. They skip this part. They don't read the initial part, they don't read the last part, and they skip a part in the middle.
Also, Adam, they use a translation which says whoever kills, like it starts from before the children of Israel part, so that doesn't give any context. That is generally
No,
just referring to the children of Israel.
they skip this
Yeah.
part
Yeah, they
because the
skip it
Quran is very
completely.
clear. If you read it in
Yeah.
Arabic, it says, "Manazal zalikal kitab ala bani Israel annahu min qatl nafsaha bighayri nafs aw fasadin fil ard." See, so they have to skip this part.
Yeah.
Aw fasadi fil ard. They have to skip this part because if they don't skip it, because then somebody will say, okay, what is fasad fil earth?
Yeah, and
What
then
is
Adam,
corruption in the
show
land?
us what they do for those who do spread corruption there. Let's just show them
Yeah, the
the
one who does
beautiful verse.
is in the next verse. Yeah, but the one who does corruption is in the next verse, which is 533. Come on, my internet, what happened? There you go. Okay, come
Allah's
on.
against us today.
Yeah, no. I'll fix Allah. I have Allah in a place where I don't want to say right now.
Allah's got nothing
Indeed,
on
the
you.
plenty for those who wage war against Allah. Like, how can you wage war against Allah? It's like I've asked this question to so many Muslims. It's unbelievable. How can you
True.
wage war with Allah? Allah doesn't have a body. Allah doesn't have a soul, according to Islam. Like according to Quran, Allah does have a soul. It says many times that He blows His soul or spirit, however you may like to translate it, into Adam. So Allah has a soul. Chapter number 7. You can go and read it. 132, if I'm not mistaken. So Allah blew His soul into Adam. Allah blew His soul into Maryam. But anyhow, long story short, wage war against Allah is the verbal war. Means you don't accept what Allah is saying. You don't believe what Allah is saying. You go against what Allah is saying. That is called having a war with Allah. And His messenger and strive upon earth corruption, fasad, fil ard. Same word. What should you do with the people who do fasad fil ard? You know, kill them, destroy them, crucify them, cut their head and feet from opposite side, and exile them from this land. Full stop. It's right there. Just next verse.
Yeah,
So
just next
the
verse.
corruption in land. What is
Yeah.
corruption in land? Is waging war with Allah and Muhammad.
Anything, Adam. You and I are causing corruption in the land right now, just by having this conversation. So,
By the way, I've been called a Dajjal anyways. The Dajjal who had to come is here, and that is Adam Seeker, by the way,
that is
according
such
to
an
so many
honor,
Muslims.
Adam. Wow, what a compliment. You're the Antichrist to Muslims, which is like literally the most war you could wage against Muslims. But yeah, so exactly this, that if how many people have you heard quote this? And when you look at like peaceful verses in the Quran, or people that try and use the Quran to say, oh no, Islam is the religion of peace, this is one of the most go-to used and misquoted verses that they try and throw in your face for why Islam is peaceful. And again, it just baffles me that if you went to the next verse, everything changes. That rosy picture that, by the way, only really was talking about the children of Israel, again, which is very problematic for people that think, the children of Israel are mentioned in the Quran, so do what you will with that information to the pro-Palestine crowd. But anyway, exactly, like even the likes of Barack Obama can mislead you with just cherry picking bits of the Quran where if you read the full context, it obliterates the message that he was trying to use it for in the first place. So again, Islam is built on lies. They quote with lies. And Adam, I wanted to get your thoughts on, I know there are super chats and I should be taking them in order, but just because this is happening a lot, and people who, like, I think Muslim scholars, I don't know, Adam, can you just comment on this if you have any thoughts? But Idris Zakir said, Nuriyah, could you do a discussion on a particular topic in Sharia law where it basically says you're not allowed to expose any flaws in Islamic scripture which might essentially wake up the masses? So,
by the way, Sharia law is a land. Okay, Sharia actually means Islamic law. Okay, you need to understand that Sharia is Islamic law.
yeah, it's
So
like
Sharia
saying
means
chai
law.
tea or naan bread. Don't do it, guys.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like Sharia means Islamic law. So that is why it's called Islamic Sharia, the Islamic law. When you say Sharia law, you are saying law. You are saying law in Arabic, and then you are saying law in English. So don't do that. So the first thing first, let's fix ourselves, because this is very important. Now the second question is, yes, it was obligatory for any non-Muslim in any Islamic country not to read Sharia. They cannot. If you don't like it, go read Pact of Umar. Like, they are not allowed to. They are not even allowed to read the Arabic Quran. Not allowed to read Arabic Quran. You need to understand that. I'll show you thousands of articles on that, and let me show you some. Uh, let me show you some of them. For example, take this one. Can you give an Arabic Quran to a kafir? No, you cannot. There are so many, what do you call it, fatwa on this, and ruling on giving a copy of the Quran with translation to a kafir. No, you cannot. It is not permissible. It is not permissible giving a kafir the power of the Quran. Why? Because the Sahih Muslim Hadith says that when you go to a kafir country, do not take the Quran with you, least they will overcome, they will have power over the Quran. You see another one. There you go. I will give you another one. This is another reference. I will show you at least 20 references for 20 different areas that you cannot give the kafir even the Quran, let alone Sharia. Let alone Sharia. Because the Prophet says prohibited traveling with the Quran to a non-Muslim country, because Quran cannot stand against any criticism. It is a religion of danda, of stick, of power, of might. It cannot stand against criticism. Because it cannot stand against criticism, so in every single narrations, it is not allowed to give this to a non-Muslim. And that is why we have the power over Quran. We can destroy Quran. Another reference, can you give the translation of the Arabic Quran to non-Muslim? Yes, you can, if he is truly seeking, but not the Arabic text. You cannot give the Arabic text to it. So you can only give the translation, the sugar-coated translation to the Jews and Christians. But you cannot give the Arabic Quran to the Jews and Christians or anybody else. And Sharia, I have done multiple streams on Sharia, and I can go to Sharia Islamia, and it says there you cannot give it to anybody. It's impossible. You shouldn't. And I think Nuriyah went off because she is feeling very hot, because the temperature is very hot and she has just a fan, not an AC. I have to donate an AC to Nuriyah so that she can put it
No,
in
no,
her
no.
room.
I'm here. I'm here. Sorry, I was just fixing the fan. Yeah, the AC is downstairs. We really need to we need to move with the times. But
I need to give
yeah,
you a
so
portable AC. You know, you can buy a portable AC to put it in your
oh,
in your basement downstairs. You said,
really?
or wherever it is. Yeah, it's a portable AC. You can buy it. It's very cheap.
Oh, okay. We don't have basements here, but I'm
You need
down
to have
to.
just a
Yeah, I'm gonna
window,
look at.
and so that the hot air could go out from the window. You can buy it. It's very cheap.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that after this stream. But yeah, Adam, exactly. So that's a very, very good point, and that just lends itself to me thinking, for example, like us lay Muslims that were practicing Islam for a long time. I was so like, how did I not know this? I went to Quran classes. I went to the mosque every day after school. I had a Quran teacher. I thought I was reading the Quran a little bit with translations. Like, how did I miss all of this? But for me, it seems like, you know what? For especially 9 years old, when I decided to wear hijab and I was taking Islam very seriously, like I I forgive myself, because even like the say sita, or like the hadith for like a Sunni Muslim, they came into my household when I was probably like 12, 13. And even then my dad just kind of put it on the bookshelf, like this is some beautiful thing that, you know, just add to our book collection. But nobody's going to read that. I mean, it's in like Arabic and God knows, like, but this is how dark Islam is, that if Muhammad is forbidding people to travel with the Quran to, like, you know, foreign lands and things like that, you have to understand that even within Sharia, and I think I did we covered this in my stream with Lloyd, but the elements of secrecy and the prescriptions to lie and what to say and how to present Islam. Like if I think about dawah, it's not even like the call to Islam. For me, it's literally propaganda, Islamic propaganda. And Sharia allows you to propagate Islam in the most sugar-coated way, to not make the other suspicious of Islam, but to do what Adam was trying to do when he gave up his good lifestyle and sacrificed it for Allah. He was trying to bring people to Islam. And even if you have to bend the truth and tell them things later on, like let's say you have somebody from a Christian faith or a Jewish background, or even a non-Muslim, like non-Abrahamic faith, if he drinks, if he gambles, those things aren't allowed in Islam. But a dawah guy, or somebody like Adam in his heyday preaching, would never tell you those things on the first instance. So they would kind of wean you into Islam slowly, and then once you've said the shahada, obviously we all know there's no way out besides death, but that's when they'll try and kind of clamp down on you. And for those kind of reverts, quote unquote, stupid word because nobody is naturally Muslim, but for those reverts, they actually offer them more kind of leeway. They give them time. They say, oh, look, he's used to gambling or he's used to drinking. He can't just give it up straight away. So they have like these different rules that they apply to them than they do to, like, you know, when they police their own kind of Muslims. But again, this is part and parcel of how Islam is snaky and shady and secretive and very cult-like in its mechanisms and behavior. And if we're talking about a law that is divine from Allah himself, if this Sharia is telling you, you may lie, you may implement deceit, you can legit look your enemy in the eye and break pacts whenever you need to, when it suits you. And by the way, when you're in a position of power, nothing but this law goes. That is, to me, the antithesis of a religion. And which brings me to my next question, unless Adam, you wanted to comment on that. Otherwise,
I want to comment on that. I want to comment two things. Number one, Abrahamic religion is a Muslim propaganda. When Muslims went into India, they started this propaganda called all three Abrahamic religion. There is nothing called all three Abrahamic religion. According to Jews, ask any Jew. You don't have to ask me. Go to Jew. Ask him, what is an Abrahamic religion? And he'll say, what? What? Excuse me? Abrahamic religion? You read the Old Testament, you will see that there is nothing called Abrahamic religion in the Old Testament or the Jewish Torah, anything. So what happened is when Islam went into India in the 9th century, what happened is they wanted to get the Jews and the Christians on their side against Hindus. Okay, so they started this propaganda. As an ex-Muslim, we should not use the propaganda of the Muslims. So this is not, I know this is a very niche topic. I have done a couple of videos on my Urdu channel called Adam Seeker Urdu, Abrahamic religions, and you can watch it and you can see what I'm saying. There is nothing. Ask a Christian. You know Lloyd. Okay, ask Lloyd. Hey Lloyd, do you believe in Abrahamic religion? He's like, what? What is Abrahamic religion? Where is it says Abrahamic? So there is nothing called Abrahamic religion. Okay,
I agree with you, Adam. This is a trope formed by Islam, because look how I said it. That's my leftover Muslim inside me, like the brainwashing, right? Because they cling to this for legitimacy. They cling to the I was going to say it again, but they cling to the prophets of, you know, the Old Testament, even the New Testament. But you're right, because the way that I've seen Muslims flip when they try and get Christians on side by saying, oh, we love your prophet too. We love Jesus. We consider him a prophet. And then boom, they're ready to throw him under the bus like the next second.
Exactly.
So
exactly. By the way, if you know Lloyd, ask him to give you a video with you on Abrahamic religion, because Abraham was following the religion of Hanfa. Hanfa is the worshipping of pillars, and Quran says that Abraham is Hanifa, which is the transliteration of the Hebrew word Hanfa, into Arabic, Hanifa. And Allah says Allah's deen is Hanifa. And Abrahamic religion, Hanfa, was worshipping the pillar. And that is why Kaaba had 6 pillars and Muhammad was offering 5 pillars, 5 salahs in between 6 pillars. So it's altogether a different video, different topic. But ask Lloyd, he has a lot of information on that as well. He can do a much better job with you on that one. But
Yeah,
another topic
I
for
guess for
another day.
argument's purposes, yeah, definitely. But I guess Dale, you made a good point here. Hi, Dale, it's good to see you. I guess in the sense that if we say, let's say Islam, however corruptly it tries to, but taking its origins back to the God of Abraham, or Abraham as the father figure, even though they've hijacked it, then yeah, I guess for like semantics purposes you can. But no Christian or Jew, like a believing one, would assume that would allow Islam into that continuum. But yeah, sorry, carry
Yeah.
on.
With your second point, every newborn baby is born on the millat of Islam, the Fitra of Islam, remains on it until the tongue is able to express himself. So imagine the stupidity
Oh
that the
my
Muslim
God.
believes. Every single child is born a Muslim until he can speak. Check this out. Every child is born on the Fitra of Islam. So as long as he does not express himself, so as soon as he starts speaking, bam, is not a Muslim. So if he's born in a Jewish family, he'll become a Jew. If he's like, this is stupidity. How can somebody believe this stupidity? So
Literally. So for people
because
who don't know what millet means, it literally, this is basically Islam claiming that every single human being, every life to ever have been born, your natural inclination is to be a Muslim. That's how you're inherently designed.
until you start speaking,
Yeah, exactly.
until you start speaking, this is stupidity, obnoxiously. I don't know. Give me another English word, okay? Uh, English is your
but
language.
But Adam, also just to follow up on that point, I always like, this is again what seems very cult like to me. But I mentioned this in my last video as well, that the way in Islam, as a Muslim child, we're born. The first thing we do is one of our elders recites the call to prayer, the azan, in our ear, and they basically tell you that your whole life begins with that call to prayer in your ear until the call to prayer that is going to be read on your funeral prayer, your namaz
Yep,
janaza. So your whole
absolutely.
life is lived between literally the call to prayer and then your prayer being performed on your deathbed. Like, what the hell is that?
Every single 200 children that I have, I actually recited the call of prayer on their ears by myself.
Oh my
All of
gosh, you
them.
didn't add.
Yeah. All of the 200
Wash your
children that I
mouth
have, I
out
did it
with
myself.
Dettol. Astaghfirullah.
What can I do? I was a devout Muslim.
Oh no, for
No
sure.
other voice can go into his ear or her ear except the adhan first.
Yeah.
And but that's the reality of it. I was a devout Muslim. What else do you expect from me?
Yeah.
But
So
but you see
yeah.
that's what it is. And by the way, call of prayer is a mutually agreed thing. If you look at it in the hadiths, and you will see that somebody said, "Let's ring the bell." Somebody said, "Oh no, ring bell is a Christian thing. Let's do this. This is Jewish thing. Let's do this. This is a kafir thing." Okay, we will call the prayer to adhan. So
And
imagine it was
we'll make Black Bilal do it, BTW guys. So
yeah, that was a
wake
slave, by
him
the way.
up.
He remained a slave for the rest
Yeah,
of his life.
exactly. Thank you. And I think I mean, who else wants to wake up at that time and do the Fajr call to prayer mid
And as soon as
pre-dawn?
Muhammad died, he said, "Okay, I'm not going to do adhan because I am so sad. I am
Oh
so
my,
sad. I'm not going to do that again." So Muhammad died. He never did the adhan. Never,
absolute
ever.
hypocrite.
That's
It
how he lived.
was it above him, Adam, do you think it was it above him to do that? Did he just have a sucky voice, or was that just left for the
No,
slaves
because
to
like
do?
who wants to go up the first person
Thank
to do
you.
the adhan? Like who else would like to do that? He had to clean the mosque, then he had to give the adhan, then everybody will come in. Like who wants to do that? He finally found a way out. Hey, I am so saddened that Muhammad is dead. I'm not going to do the adhan. He did the adhan multiple times, started crying in the adhan. Somebody else gave the adhan, and finally that's for him. He Bilal bin. So then there was another story in the February, and it talks about it that there was one time that Imam Hassan came back to Medina and he's like, "Bilal, I am so longing to hear the adhan of Prophet Muhammad time, my grandfather's time. Please give the adhan." And Bilal went up And Bilal went up and then he said, Ashhadu la ilaha illallah Muhammad. And that's it. That was it. He gave the half adhan at that time, and that's it. So imagine this slave who was a slave. He kept all his life. He was saying to Abu Bakr, he said, Abu Bakr, if you bought me for the sake of Allah, free me. But if you bought me for yourself, then so be it. Abu Bakr never freed him. He was never freed. He was a slave of Abu Bakr. Check this out. You don't have to go there. If you check this out, bought me. There you go. See, there you go. It's right there. He was never freed. Come on, internet, work with me. You're too slow today. What happened? And then free me. What happened? What? This they. If you bought me for yourself, then keep me. But if you have bought me for the sake of Allah, leave me for the sake of work. Abu Bakr never freed him. He remained a slave of Abu Bakr till he died. That's the reality of it.
And I think, Adam, that's the sad reality when, you know, you try and bring this information to people, especially literally Black people who are singing this man's praises, who was essentially a slaver long before the, you know, the horrors of slavery they attribute to white people, which also they should, absolutely you should. But let's not forget this other horrific part of history. And this goes back to Muhammad himself. This is not the first instance. There's quite a few other racist remarks within Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim as well. You can see Muhammad trading 2 black slaves for non-black slaves. So this theme is not just like a one-off. It is kind of continued. And obviously, in the historical context of slavery, yes, we know it existed all the time. But this is the man who calls himself the timeless example for Muslim men to follow, and basically the most perfect human to have ever been put down, and the final messenger. So yeah, what would you say to those people, those Black people who just think?
Okay, I'll give you something. This is my website, Muhammad and Slaves. I'm getting a better website as well already. This is my website. Check this out. Forget this. Muhammad and black slaves, black camel driver, slave camel driver. Muhammad's black slave at home. Muhammad received black slaves as gift. Muhammad's slave escorted Aisha. Muhammad with his slave girl at home. Muhammad's tailor is a slave. By the way, everyone said, "Oh, Muhammad was doing his own tailorship. He was fixing his own clothes." He had a tailor which was black. Muhammad as a slave trader, he was trading slaves. Muhammad cancelled freeing of the slave and sold the slaves. Multiple hadiths, and these are the references are there. You see the references, Sahih Bukhari, Sunan Ibn Majah, all of the references are there. I'm not lying over here. Kill the runaway slave. If slave run away, kill him. Slave as blood money. So you can give slave as blood money. Do not free a slave, give it to your family, which he did to his own wife. Maimuna bint Haritha. This is Sahih Bukhari 292. Maimuna, his own wife, freed a slave without asking permission from Muhammad. And Muhammad said, "Did you really do that? I manipulated your slave?" She said, "Yes, really." She replied, he said, "You would have gotten more reward if you had given her, i.e., the slave girl, to one of your maternal uncles. So freeing of slave is not Islamic. Give it to your uncles. Kill everyone who made children and women slave. Muhammad giving away slaves like carrots. Go take a slave for yourself." Muhammad and Aisha enjoying slave dancing in Masjid al-Nabi. Muhammad categorization of horses and slave as together. Flogging of the slave. Muhammad analogy for the black slave. Slaves and free men not equal according to Quran. Quran chapter number 16 verse number 75. Quran chapter number 16 verse number 71. They are not equal. Go have sex with slave women. Doesn't matter. These enjoy sex with slave girls. So this is one of my website reference. If anybody wants to see that, let me give it to you in private chat so that you could share it. I do not have
Yeah,
the
please.
permission
I'll add it to
like
the
that.
description of. Oh, sorry, I don't know. Yeah, I'll add it to the description. But that is amazing, Adam. So, yeah, anybody that thinks that even like Adam or myself, we're just kind of making up things out of thin air. I'll link Adam's website, and you can go and see, and you can cross-reference with the actual sources on Sunnah.com or wherever else. So yeah, there is plenty to discuss there, obviously, when it comes to slavery. And the Queen of Kush has said, "Thank you for speaking about racism and slavery. Muslims still have slaves all over the UAE today." I would go as far as to say, like, pretty much the whole GCC, and even countries like Mauritania and stuff. And even Libya. There's like a whole level of modern slavery going on, and probably even like worse than modern slavery when I talk about Libya and Mauritania. But anyway, that's an entirely different topic, but it is such an important aspect of Islam. So I did kind of just want to briefly touch on it. And somebody was questioning whether Muhammad was racist in the chat. So I just want to bring your attention to this Bukhari hadith.
Absolutely racist. Absolutely.
Exactly. And yeah, we don't need to kind of hone that point home. He's called he's called an Ethiopian leader. He said respect him even if his head is like a raisin. So you can go and cross-reference that. Yeah, a raisin
like
head, exactly.
A raisin head.
And infidel
and then again,
yeah,
two black slaves. Let's just search that. Check this. Yeah. He took a white slave and traded with the two black slaves. It's right here in front of you. So he was racist to the core. And then people, okay, let me expand on that. Then people will give me the last khutbah and they say, koi kale ko, koi gore pe koi fokiyat nahi hai. Let's just
no, Adam, wait, let me explain that. So basically, a lot of people now, for the defense of this, I've just posted Adam's website in the chat, by the way, guys. So basically what people do is, to get around this, they say, oh no, but if you look at Muhammad's last sermon, which is a big deal in Islam, apparently the tree that he did the sermon by wept, his camel was weeping, like it was a whole thing, everything in nature was crying. Anyway, I was exaggerating. No, it's just the tree and the camel. Anyway, he basically apparently in that says everybody is equal, no Arab is superior to a non-Arab, no white is superior to a black, blah blah blah. But I have done a video on this which is called Muhammad's fake last words, the whitewashed final sermon, because those were lies. I also tried to defend Islam by saying that, but I would live in Saudi Arabia and Dubai, and I would see a hierarchy. I would see how people from quote unquote these third world countries were treated when Arabs saw their passports, how they were made to work. And for some reason, I never obviously made the link to Islam, but when you go into actual Islam and Muhammad's last sermon, there is nothing to say there is no superiority. In fact, by the way, for women, it says, treat them well, for they are like prisoners with you. And it says, I think it says it has no concept of Arabs are superior, are not superior over non-Arabs. There is nothing like that. In fact, I think it hints at supremacy towards the Quraysh. I need to go back, but I will link that video as well. I'm sure Adam can tell us what exactly is going on. But it's all lies, Adam, right? The version they have. The real version you can find in Tabari and Ibn Ishaq, I think, yeah.
Exactly. And even if you take this narrative, it says in taqwa. So they don't even read further. It is not in this world. So you already described the true narration. I don't have to go there. In the true narration, the Sahih narration, it's not there. But in the Hasan Daif narrations, it is there. And it says in taqwa. So in front of Allah, there is no difference. In this world, there is difference. And then in front of Allah, this is Quran that I'm showing it to you right now. Chapter number 3, verse number 106. Even Allah is going to change their faces in the Akhirah and make them white before sending them into heaven. There will be no black person in heaven. So if there is no difference between black and white, why would Allah not send black people to heaven? Why Allah has to change them into white people, white faces before sending them to heaven? This is stupidity. Muhammad was so racist.
Exactly.
He was absolutely racist, and Allah is absolutely racist because come on, man, this is the Quran. On that day, faces will be turned white and some will turn black. As for those whose faces turn black, did you disbelieve? I.e. reject the faith after you believe, then there's the punishment. So black people will go to heaven. Sorry, will go to hell.
yeah. Go to hell. Adam, isn't there another hadith which kind of like backs up this notion where it says that they were created from like two like lines, and
Son
one of
those
Adam, lines
Adam was touched on his right side and the white ants came into being.
Left,
Allah said, go to heaven and I don't care. And then he shook his left shoulder and the black people came into being like ants, and Allah said, go to hell and I don't care. So yeah, there's so many narrations on that.
Surprise,
so
surprise. Many. White and right is heaven bound, and then left and black is hell bound. So when Muhammad Ali was saying, why is like the devil cake black and black male bad and white lies good, he had a point. And it kind of, all those points are embedded within Islam. So yeah, Islam is hella racist. But yeah, Adam, I think okay, you and I have so much to talk about. Is it cool if I go through some super chats now and then let's start talking about jihad a little bit, and then
Yeah,
is that cool?
we have very little time, so let's take the super chats first. And by the way, this is the hadith, and there are multiple hadiths. Ahmad actually he said, then he said to the party on the right side, to paradise and red care, and to the party on the left shoulder, to hell and red care. And look at it, he created it and struck him on the right shoulder, and brought forth offspring white like small ants. And he struck his left shoulder, brought forth offspring black as though they were charcoal. Explicitly mentioned black, so black you can't even imagine, right? Like charcoal black. And he said to the black people, go to hell and I don't care. So it's just so bad if you look at it. And yes, let's take the super chats. And I think when we do the jihad, if we'll have time, I'll touch base on jihad. I don't know how long. Can you do like the next 2 hours? If you can, then I'll
Yeah,
touch jihad.
yeah, if you want. I mean, I think people are really enjoying this conversation as it's going. So if you
And
want,
we'll go to jihad. No worries. No worries. I am
we
all
can
up for
keep
that.
it free flowing if you want. People are saying this is a great show. That I think that they're really enjoying this. That even your passion, people are cracking up when you read the Quran back. So yeah, if you, I don't know, Adam, do you want to just keep free falling? Because I have a lot of like tangents we can go on.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, cool. All right, let's take super chats and then we will keep this free flowing discussion going. So, yeah, feel free in the live chat. Like, the live chat is so lit. I've been keeping an eye, but if you guys want to veer this conversation as well. So, just a change of plan. This will just be a free flowing discussion between Adam and I today on anything that pops into our mind about Islam and just going back and forth. The jihad in Islam, we will definitely get to, but I'll make a full on stream about that because we have so much ground to cover.
And if
But okay,
may I say
yes, go ahead.
something, like if somebody is here and who doesn't know my channel, they should subscribe my channel. It's Adam Seeker. That's the English channel. So if you haven't gone through there, please subscribe to my channel. Sorry, I'm gonna use this opportunity and get some
No,
subscribers.
no, no, good. Absolutely. I have put all of Adam's links in the description. His English channel, I'm going to add his Urdu one as well. If you speak Urdu, do go and check that out because he is way more like passionate and sensational in that. It's hilarious. So, and also all the ways you can support him because as you can see, his work is amazing. So I've got his Patreon links and a couple of other links. They're all down there. His Instagram as well. I think there's a Facebook page linked. So, and I will pop it in the chat, or if one of my mods can please just pop it in the chat. Thank you so much. That would be great. Yes, Adam does have not a great channel. He has multiple channels, which are all pretty great. And actually, yeah, I will start with that. After the super chats, let me just write down my question for you. Okay. So, all right. Oh, already subscribed. Yeah, we've got some mutuals here for sure. Anyway, Adam, I'm glad we did this in English as well. We need to like expand your knowledge as to as many people as we can. Okay, B. Amit, thank you so much for your super chat. Your B. Amit said, "Oh, real father of prophet," with an F, Muhammad, the mightiest Adam. Oh my God, Khush Hamdeed, and may you and Hazrat. Wow, my gosh, Nuriyah Khan spread light, wit, wisdom, truth, peace in the world. Amen. Ameen. Sum Ameen. Thank you so much, Amit. Amit. I hope that's what we're doing with this stream.
Amit is a very supporter, a huge supporter of my channel as well. So thank you, Amit.
Oh, and
Appreciate it.
thank you for being here, Amit. And for supporting Adam because I honestly I think this just putting this knowledge out there is gonna change the game. Anonymous is saying, "Welcome, Hazrat Adam." Wow, Adam, you have prophethood. I feel bad even saying sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but you have prophethood status here. Look at you.
Alhamdulillah, send ham to the dog of Allah because he's hungry. The last time he ate was 1400 years ago when he came down to earth and barked like a asad, like a lion, and ate the head of only one kafir. And after that, he's hungry for eternity. So please send ham to Allah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Anonymous. He's an old subscriber and a supporter of my channel as well. Thank you, Anonymous.
Oh, thank you, Anonymous. And Faris, Adam, sorry, I'm very anglicized the way I say Adam, so sorry. And I'm sorry to you as well. Adam, I
Adam is good.
didn't ask. Is
Adam
it
is
okay?
good. Adam is good.
Okay, good. Faris Adam says, God bless you. Thank you so much, Faris. God bless you too. I'm sure you're also from Adam's channel. So thanks to all of
Yep.
Adam's supporters who have come here. Thank you guys. This is lovely. I love cross collaborations. Oh, I just love this kind of feminist thing. One woman's voice equals two men's voice in this movement because Muhammad said the opposite. So yes, a women to that.
Hey, Vijar, have you crossed our galaxy or you are still in our galaxy? Let me know. That's the
And
satellite that we sent.
oh yeah, it is. It is. Voyager's done some great work for us. Salute, actually. And I loved your point. I wanna tweet this in an ex-Muslim context. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Uriel. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for your support anyway. And I have seen you pop up before, so I'm so glad that you're here again. It's been a while. There is a Jew or Christian to take the place of Muslims in hell.
Yep.
Ooh, there's a
Yep.
Muslim to take the place of every. Isn't it the other way
Yep.
around, Adam?
Yeah. There will be sins of Muslims like mountains, and there will be a Jew or Christian that Allah will put their sins upon. So that's the reality. That's Islam.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So you could be as good as you want on this earth, but at the end of the day, a Muslim will still trump you in the hereafter, even if they've done a mountain load of sins. This is such a fair, just, divine religion. The Uralic tribes is saying, oh, Nuriyah, thanks so much for mentioning the Ottomans enslaving women from Central Europe. I hope you'll also mention how they force converted European children into Islam and made us live in segregation. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for your support, first and foremost. And yeah, this for me is a genuine interest, like a topic of interest, as you can see, like I have made a couple. I kind of touched upon it embedded in my slavery video, but this deserves a video in its own right. So yeah, whether it's kind of focusing more on the slave raids that were done to get those women into the harems of the Ottoman sultans, or like how they force converted, as you said, European, mostly Christian children in and got them into the janissaries and various ways that they were made to live either in like in a kind of segregated state or in like certain areas of the city, which is why you had Jewish quarters and Christian quarters come about. I will definitely touch on that in a separate video. But yeah, thank you for appreciating and for your super chat. Oh yeah, this wasn't a super chat, but Adam, I wanted to ask you because you obviously hated Christian Prince once upon a time when you were a good Muslim. So is there any video now of you and Christian Prince together?
There shouldn't be any.
Okay, why?
Let's just put a stop on here.
Okay, all right, sorry, yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
guys, okay.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, Human Kirk is saying, oh, you've been a member for 2 months. Thank you, Human Kirk, for your support. Finally, see you live. Screw Islam, love Muslims. Abso-freaking-lutely. That's the vibe. Amit, again, thank you so much for your support. He's saying, seriously, I don't like Pakistanis of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, but you two I like, and Adam Bro is to me the most important man on earth right now.
Thank
Hallelujah,
you.
Adam.
Thank you
Jeez,
so
we need to
much,
protect
Amit.
Adam at all costs.
Thank you, Amit. God bless you. God bless everyone. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No, yeah, honestly, Amit, thank you. And honestly, I don't know how much I can vouch for Pakistanis in general, but trust me, like people who at some level are from that country, like Adam and I, there are normal people like us. So there are people that are waking up like us, and the average Pakistani just wants to live a good, happy life, and they are pretty chilled out people. Islam was something I would say we never asked for it. I know Pakistan was born out of religious reasons and the biggest mass migration in human history for religious purposes. But when I say it was enforced on us, like with every other Islamic country today, besides one could argue Saudi Arabia, not that Islam technically started from there, but it was part of Arab colonization. So we didn't ask for it.
There
We're
are
dealing with it, and
200
it's a shit
and
show.
sorry, there are 293 videos of mine which are blocked in Pakistan already. And let me just say, if Islam is not there anymore, there is no reason for Pakistan, because Pakistan was made on in the name of Islam, that Muslim wants a land for themselves. So in fact, if you look at it in the division in 1947, it was all India. And I'm not a Hindu, but I am in a full support of Mahabharat, the collective Bharat, the collective India, because at the end of the day, this is a fake cult which created this particular land into being. So that's what I am into that, because this land belongs to India. It doesn't belong to Pakistan. Whether you believe it, whether you accept Indians or not, it doesn't matter. But if you look at it from the historical point of view, Islam is something which came in here as a fighter religion, as a fighters, and when this
Foreign
foreign
imposed
fighters.
ideology. Yeah.
Exactly. And as a Pakistani, I fully believe that this land should go back to India, whether they want to take it or not, it doesn't matter. But it should go back to India. Once it is part of India, at least I can come back and see my whole country again.
Oh yeah, I know. Absolutely. I might even consider a trip if all is well, but sadly probably not in our lifetimes ever. But again, if you ever wanted a prime example of why to never ever ever carve a country out in the name of Islam, Pakistan is that. So there we go. Anyway, Thunderstorm, thank you so much for your support. I think this is when Adam was talking about his story. I noticed that you sent it, and you were saying operant and classical conditioning. Yeah, touche, absolutely. When Adam was going through his kind of rituals and the ablution and the ghusl, and it's not just a shower. You can look into it. It's very ritualistic and ordained things, steps you've got to follow. It is basically an example of classical conditioning. A lot of Islam is, a lot of cult behavior is. But yeah, that's exactly part. And I'm actually glad that, thankfully, I wasn't that. It was just always too much for me. It was too controlling. It was too. I always, in my head since a little kid, I was like, surely Allah cares more about kids starving in Africa than if I use my right foot. Like, really. But again, you push it to the back of your head, and you love him for some reason. And Adam and I broke away from it. Once you do, you realize how crazy all of this is. Like, there's an angel waiting outside. Both the angels are waiting outside the bathroom for me, the one that's on your right and left shoulder, and you can't speak in the bathroom because they'll get angry. Like, weird things.
The devil does some really bad things with your bowel. Let me you read some super chat. I'll tell you. Hold on.
Okay,
You read the
sure.
video.
Human rights supporter. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'll answer this question at the end. Human rights supporter, if that's okay, just to not veer off. Okay. Para Oxman, thank you for your super chat. Para Oxman saying, please be mindful of how much you disclose. Hi. Yeah, I think Adam's
Thank you, brother.
careful
I
enough
am
to
very
take care of
careful on that.
himself. Yeah, and I wouldn't let Adam's security be jeopardized in any way by coming here. So hopefully, he's in safe hands. Malaki, thank you so much for your support. Malaki saying, and I've never seen you before, so if this is your first time here, then welcome. Hello, I've been thinking a lot about how evolutionary psychology tends towards religious thinking. My question is, should we consider this when analyzing religious behavior? That's a great question, and I think that's a question that we always. I mean, sorry to break this off. I'm going to speak as a non-religious atheist at the moment because that's my current worldview. So, for me, I think this is a pertinent question to always have at the forefront when we're tackling religion. Because obviously, you need to look into the psychology behind it, its evolutionary advantage, which I even as an atheist, I would say I think religion had a lot of evolutionary advantage. I think for a lot of people, it still has a lot of advantage, and it provides a lot of things. So yeah, I mean, just to not veer away too much from the scope of this discussion on Islam today, I think this is a very good way to look at when we counter religions or when we deal with people of varying degrees of religiosity. We need to bear in mind, yes, the tends towards it and the patterns of that we've seen throughout human history. And I think the challenges, if we were to just kind of yank religion away, what detriment would that have on society and on cultural norms and on morals and on all that kind of thing? But yeah, that's a great question, and I would love to kind of
So
delve into that.
I,
Yeah,
I'll put 2 cents over here as well on this one.
sure.
Any religious ideology which does not allow you to evolve, yes, there is a problem. Definitely, I fully agree with you on that. But Islam is the only religion which does not give you any leeway to evolve. Right now, I have not seen any other religious ideology or theology which does not allow you to evolve. Okay, there can be constraint on many religious ideology on certain things, but let's just say 80-20 rule, 80% they let you evolve in so many areas. They let you evolve, they let you do a lot of stuff, and that's how it is. So why Islam doesn't let you evolve? Because it is created to overcome with power on everything, and that is why jihad is very important to discuss. But obviously, we'll talk about it in a later time. But that's you. I agree with you on that,
Yeah,
Nuria.
I knew this was going to happen, by the way, with the all of our topics, because this was the first time we're speaking, and I know that there's just so much we have to say anyway. So it was kind of silly of me for to expect that we could like tackle these massive topics in our first conversation. So yeah, my bad there. But I agree with you completely, and I think that's going to lead me to my next question. Just to spearhead the second part of this conversation after the super chats. But I completely agree with you there that, and this is the reason I talk. If Islam was anything like the other religions, which I would actually say, from all intents and purposes, they are more religions than I could ever call Islam a religion. I don't consider Islam a religion, and that's why I need to talk about it. If a religion is something that is personal and between you and your Lord, or even if you put spirituality in there, for me, it's like Christopher Hitchens. He says, if you've got certain toys that you want to play with, then that's fine. Just don't do it in public. Islam likes to dangle and shove its toys in your face. Islam tells you, if you don't play with my toy, you are gonna pay, and pay in the worst ways. So that's my issue with it. And also, Adam, I also wanted people to know this, because it's not a super chat, but again, I think it's very important to why we're speaking. So if you just want to spend a few minutes, just because Terence D'Souza asked, why is Adam not showing his face? Is he afraid of something? Someone please tell me. I just want to say, I think you can
Yeah,
tell from Adam's persona and personality. The guy does not seem like, if you met him face to face, he would ever be like intimidated or scared. But this, I'm going to let Adam speak for himself of why Islam is such a problem. Go on, Adam.
yeah, because like at the end of the day, I don't want the issues for my extended families. In Pakistan, if you don't know about me, you should know that in Pakistan there were at least 6 demonstrations against me that has been done already. 6 of them. In those demonstrations, they have shown my target sign as my insignia. They have already claimed that I have led astray over 1 million Muslims out of Islam. There are 9 courts of action, which includes 420 as well, Act of Pakistan 420, 495C, 495B, and multiple other that has been filed against me, and 6 demonstration. And one of the last demonstration that happened is in front of Supreme Court of Pakistan. What they did was they actually took another guy who was an ex-Muslim, and he worked with me in the past as well. So the mob shot his father in the back. Sorry, his brother in the back. His brother is not able to walk. His father was beaten so badly that he went into vegetable state for almost 4 months. Now he can at least talk. Now his immediate family went out of Pakistan. Now the mobs are hitting his extended family, like the family of their father's brothers, and so on and so forth. Now imagine what will happen to my extended family. Multiple muftihans of Pakistan has said that they want to slice my neck with their own hand, and I openly say, the day you will come in front of me, you will not be able to slice my neck, because I have better movement than you. Let's see on that day what is going to happen. But the problem is, it's not just my life, it's the life of my extended families in Pakistan. So I have to worry about them. Otherwise, who am I right now? I am nobody. You need to understand. Like, go back 2020, when you were wearing face masks, when you go shopping, when you shop something. Don't you want to take off your mask at that time? Don't you want to see the expressions of the other person? Don't you think that I would rather like to show my expression and my face and my emotions when I'm speaking? I definitely want to do that. I will get far more recognition if I turn on my camera. Far more recognition than what I have right now. But I have to worry and take care of my extended family, because what they are doing in Pakistan, you do not know. You want to see those things? I can show you those things. I have legal FIRs in Pakistan against my name, against my Facebook, again, like, my Facebook name, Adam Seeker. Go, go to Facebook, search Adam Seeker. You will see over there, Adam Seeker is dead, in memory of Adam Seeker. That's what they show, because they have created a death certificate of me. That has been done 4 years ago. So you need to understand, like, everybody wants to come up with a face. I want to come up with a face. I'm not scared. If I'll die, I will at least take 4 or 5 with me before I die. I will rather be judged by 10 or 12 or whatever than be carried by 4. Okay? But at the end of the day, I have to take care of my extended family, my loved ones as well. So for a certain time, I have to be like this. Maybe in the next few years, I can show my face just like Nuriyah can. But that's the reality. I'm not scared. I don't care. I like you. If you are an English speaking person, you have never seen my Urdu channel. You don't know how many threats I get every day, and from the
Yeah, and
muftis.
I can vouch for that because I do check out Adam's Urdu stuff, and genuinely, like, people come on and they're just asking for his whereabouts. They're trying to dox him left, right, and center. They're playing tricks on him for him to divulge personal information. It is twisted. Sorry, Adam, did you want to continue? Or?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, so that's gonna also, we're gonna just discuss this more, because see, this is the dangers of Islam. I don't see people of any other religion saying things like this. We're gonna slice your throats. We're gonna slice the throats of your family members, and this is why so many people. And again, this is why I choose to put my face out there. Because somebody asked me earlier, and I will address your question. My situation is quite different, and I am so lucky, and I'm so privileged, and because Adam can't put his face out there, I have to put my face out there to make it so normal, so that one day Adam can put his face out there and he can walk the streets of wherever he lives in the world, and people know him, know what he says, and even if they feel nothing but pure contempt and hatred and disdain for him inside, they will just have to walk by and they can't do anything. This is how we have to normalize being ex-Muslim, criticizing Islam as an ideology, and being able to say that and showing your face and say it with chest. So yeah, thank you for that, Adam, for like shedding light on your situation, because yeah, I know for a fact you would want to turn your camera on in a heartbeat. And the reasons that you don't are very real and very severe, and I see that, I hear that. And again, that's why I really salute everybody that does work in the Urdu and Hindi side of things, because the Muslims that you have to come face to face with, I'm sorry to say, and that's why I wanted to have Adam here on my English channel, because it's a different beast you're dealing with entirely. If you look here at the live chat, it's very, very much like, it's a whole different level. And I'm not sure if that's just because, this is a Western channel and I'm here, and let's say people are a bit more on the back foot, blasphemy laws don't apply, even though the Labour Party are trying to implement them. It's just a different ballgame. But even if you've got roots back in a Muslim country, they make your life hell. So some of my family's in the Middle East, and I had to take decisions, and I'll never talk about them publicly, but this is the length that we have to go to. This is the reason that Adam is still hidden. Okay, without taking up too much time,
Share it.
what was
I'm
I?
showing something. I'm
Oh
showing
yeah.
something. Okay. Now these are legal FIRs in Pakistan. You see,
So an
187
FIR, for
6.
somebody that doesn't know, is a first instant report, which is how you lodge basically a complaint with the police.
Yeah. So you have multiple FIRs against me with multiple. You see, Adam Seeker Urdu here, multiple channels, and this is the guy, his thumbprint, his signature. There are so many FIRs against me. This is the new channel. This is the website address and as well, and they are putting somebody else into my name. This is Mufti Abdul Rahman Naimi, and he plays this to the civil line Thana, and he is putting somebody else, the ex-Muslim that I work with, and he says here, Adam Seeker ex-Muslim Sahil channel को चलाकर लाखों लोगों को गुमराह कर रहा है. Like, imagine, like, there are so many FIRs and incidents against me. It's just unbelievable. These are videos. I don't think that I should be playing that probably here, but I'm gonna skip those for now. So there are so many, and even in the news channel of Pakistan, they are calling against me. They wanna kill not me, my whoever they can find. Like, that's is, if they can't get a hand on me, they will go against my extended to whatever they find. Because what I'm doing in Pakistan and India in Urdu language, it is far beyond what I'm doing in English. Because you people have no
Absolutely.
idea what Islam is. It's pure evil.
Mm,
It's like
yeah,
literally pure evil. So yes, I want to show my face. I would love to show my face. But what is going to happen to my people in Pakistan? You have no idea. You have no idea. You guys don't even know what they did to the the ex-Muslim from Sawat. They burned him alive and roasted him on fire, just like you roast a pig or a lamb or a goat on a wood. Go to my Twitter account, go to my X account, and you will see 3 days ago, last Friday, they actually took a guy in Sawat. He supposedly he did blasphemy, leaving Islam and did blasphemy. They roasted him just like you see it in the old videos by putting X on the right, X on the left, put a stick in the middle, and they roasted him alive. Like, this is the reality of it. You guys are living in the West. You have no idea what they are doing in Pakistan. London is finally starting to realize what this cult is. And thanks to Tommy on that. And I would love Tommy. I thank Tommy for this. Appreciate Tommy for at least raising the voice.
yeah, absolutely. He's been raising his voice for a long time in about the dangers of Islam and what it's been doing to the UK. And again, this is why people are coming at me quite hard for why did you do an interview with Tommy and why do you side with Tommy straight away. But again, I'm moving away from this herd mentality, and I haven't found anything he's done to be racist, and I have to keep always defending why I'm speaking to Tommy Robinson. But I'm just going to say it here for the last time that I think he has more spine than any of our past or current leaders when it comes to Islam, when it comes to the fact that he says what every single person was afraid to say, bar like Suella Breverman and a couple of others who had the guts to say, you know what, the grooming gangs, it's not just actually an Asian problem because we're Asian, don't lump us in with this. This is a categorically Pakistani or British Pakistani problem. Okay, and I'm from the same community. And I'm willing to call it out. I have to call a spade a spade. There is something wrong with the British Pakistani community in the United Kingdom, and I don't think that's racist to say it. And I think that Tommy's been completely clear with what he says about the grooming gangs. I went and verified it. I work in the Vogue sector, violence against women and girls. I've seen the extent of this cover up, and everything that was done, including by politicians, to say, oh, let's not talk about this because it's Islamophobic. We're just going to come across as racist and Islamophobic. So let's let these white, vulnerable, usually working class English girls suffer for the sake of diversity and cohesion and social cohesion, which is ridiculous. But anyway, I digress. That's a different point. I'm just going to catch up with the rest of the super
Can
chats.
I say a racist
Oh yeah,
comment here?
yeah.
A racist
Poof.
comment.
It depends. Okay, Adam, be careful, but say it.
White people are idiots. They don't know what they are doing. They are destroying their lineages. They are destroying their ancestry. Like, seriously speaking, I know that they have done some bad things in the past. Their ancestors has done some bad things in the past. Yes, they have, but it doesn't mean to fix to do the wrong to fix the past. You have to do the right to fix the past. Call evil evil, call good good. You don't have to call evil good to fix what your ancestors did. Don't be stupid. Learn, understand. We are from the same location as well. when we left this cult, we want to raise awareness in you. If you think that's racist, again, you are stupid. Thank you so very much. And I'm sorry, but I had to say that.
No, you're welcome, and that wasn't that bad. And it's because I've heard you in your Urdu streams that I'm just like, oh, are you gonna say the exact same thing in English because it doesn't land well? But that was very that was very tame. I could deal with that. Um, Zahra Bazak, Ekshia Truth Seeker. Ooh, Ekshia, I love that. Thank you so much for the super chat. And given your currency, please be careful. And I hope you're watching through VPN and other means. But thank you so much for your super chat. Suraj Singh, thank you so much for your support. All glory to Adam, brother, hope of humanity. Amen. Yes, he is indeed. Thank you, Suraj. And Suraj has become a YouTube member. Oh, it means you like what you're hearing. Thank you, Suraj. And again, thank you for all of Adam's viewers who have come across to listen to
Thank you,
your, I
everyone.
guess,
Thank you. Yes, there. Suraj Singh
your,
is also a very old subscriber and financial supporter as well. Appreciate it.
oh, amazing. Shokeen Kafir. Oh, that's a good
Oh
name.
my God, you are here too.
Adam, your whole tribe is here today. I love it.
Hey, man, that is good. Awesome. Thank you, Shagin Kafir. Appreciate it, man.
See, for all of those people who say like atheists and Christians can't be friends, look, we are defying that as we speak. So, because people give AP a lot of stick for like hanging out with David Wood, but honestly, like Islam is a bigger goal to tackle at times. So you just got to focus on. You can come like it's not like what it says in the Quran that don't take them as allies. All of that stuff is absolute BS. You can be friends with everybody, even Muslims, just never befriend Islam. Anyway, thank you, Shoki and Kafir. Keep up the good work. We shall, inshallah, I will do my best, and I'm sure Adam will as well. Nuri, thank you so much. It's been a hot minute. It's good to see you here, and you're always supporting. Yeah, I'm going to do a stream on women with Adam, so definitely join us in that stream because I know you have a lot to contribute. Roman 1620, thank you so much for your support as well. Love your work, guys. Adam bhai, kaam chuk ke rakho. Keep up the good work, basically.
चुप के रखा है, हमेशा चुप के रखा है.
Yeah, thank you so much. He is doing that. It's true. Then we've got Kieran Joseph. Thank you so much for your support. Kieran is saying, thank you for the tremendous work you both do. Nuriyah, I adore you. And Adam bhai, khudawand aapko aur, oh, it's okay. Yeah, anyway, basically make God use him more to do more for humanity, which I guess he's doing. May God continue to bless you both in your tireless efforts against this cult. Amen. Ameen. Inshallah. Insha science. Thank you so much, Kieran Joseph. I really appreciate that. We're doing our best. Honestly, this is probably the beginning of a lot of mine. And me and Adam can probably do loads of collabs and talk forever. So tell us if we're ever boring you guys, okay? John Wick, thank you so much for your support. Adam Bhai and Nuri, big fan. Thank you so much. Just don't become an air conditioner. Stay a fan. I'm joking. Carl Share, thank you so much for your super sticker. I can't see it, but I'm sure it was a cute super sticker. Thank you so much for your support, though. Paroxymin, thank you so much for your super chat. John Corner fought Terminators with Mike in bunker. Do you know about that, Adam?
Yep,
I don't know what that's.
that's Terminator 2. That's Terminator 2. John Connor, the child, fought Terminators with Mike in bunkers. That's what I am, man. Have you not heard my song? Jab kalam ko maine hathiar banaya, that's what it is.
Which, by the way, is like a thingy, a play on this: the pen is mightier than the sword, and Islam was spread by the sword. So basically, Adam has a song on YouTube which is a lyric that says, in a way, it's alluding to that the pen is mightier than the sword. So basically, he's kicking
when
Islam's
you took the sword to cut my head. The lyrics are, when you took the sword to cut my head, I took up the pen and made pen my sword. So because pen is sharper than sword, that's what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Shokeen Kafir as well. Thanks again. Power to all ex-Muslim in kicking the ass of Islam. Yeah, absolutely. I know people, obviously, ex-Muslims are not a monolith. We are the only thing usually we have in common is the fact that we left behind this sick ideology that is Islam. And a lot of us have had our own journeys and we've gone our own ways. So yeah, but one thing that you should know is that when we come together and we talk about this cult that's gone out of hand, it is very, very personal and it's powerful. So, Adam, on that note, just to get back to our discussions, I wanted to ask you, so when did you decide that like I've just learned all of this stuff, my world has crashed in front of me. I hate this Christian that has made me stop me doing everything that I was ever once believed and taught to do. What made you think, let me go on YouTube and actually call out this nonsense? Why?
So first thing was to work with my family. Okay. And so I had to prepare a lot of stuff for them. And I'm talking about those days. God has gifted me something which is called memory. And like I'm always a good student. I've always been an A grader. Like you would see me. uh, I won't say a lot on that because then things will go. But I was always a A grader. Okay. 4.0 4.0 CGPA was not a huge deal for me. Um, so I wanted to create something for my immediate family to for them to learn, to understand, to see first-handedly. So I prepared 120 pages presentation on a PowerPoint for my family to work with them, and I knew how they think. And obviously, my family is very religious, madrasa going family. That they had the knowledge, so I had to create a presentation in such a way which could answer their immediate questions and their immediate belief system. So once I did that and brought them out of hell, which took me almost a year, and I was like, why should I remain to my family only? Why not give them, why not give the world more than that?
Adam, stop 1 second, because this
Or
is
stop here.
incredible.
Sorry.
I did
Stop
not
here.
know this. It's because this is my dream, okay? Because I've got siblings and I've got parents who are very like educated and curious and liberal, and that honestly that they're as cool as like we are. I don't know why they hold on to it. And I can see like because I'm just existing in the same household as them, and I say something here or there, or they know right now I'm doing a podcast with you, and my mom asked me, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, it's a bit intense today. She's like, what? I'm like, jihad. She was like, oh, okay. Like, but like it goes into their head that I'm here, I'm tweeting, I'm cussing out their most beloved. So I know you're saying this in a very quick way because I asked you a question about why you came online, but this is huge. So how did you approach them? Like, do you have to be really careful and it's like a slow kind of, make
Yeah,
them,
a
yeah,
year.
please explain this.
A year
Give
is
us some
slow for me.
insight.
A year is really slow for me.
No,
Okay.
that's
So
beautiful, Adam. A year to free your entire family, to me, that's a win-win,
yeah,
honestly.
it took a year long battle, where you have to be very consistent, and you don't want to push them to an extent where they will say, I don't want to speak with you. Like there were times when some people of my family XYZ will not speak to me for a month or two, and I will be very persistent. I would give them food. I'll prepare food for them. I'll invite them. Like I will do things to somehow to get them back on the table, and on the table I will not speak anything. But then they will definitely they will bring something up. And in a Muslim's life who is living in a very devout kind of a family, they would definitely say a sentence or two which has to do something with Muhammad. And that is the moment. And if you know your stuff, if you know the hadith, if you know the Quran, if you know the Sirah, you will definitely be able to counter that. And I would put up something. And they're like, oh, we are not going to talk about this. We are not going to. I was like, no, I'm not talking about it. You brought it up. You brought it up. So I'm saying, don't say this because this is what it is. So there were times when you have to back off. The time when you, so you have to do it very, very slow, very, very slow. And you have to back off. To win a war, certain times you have to lose battles, right?
Absolutely. Touche. Yeah.
So you
Lose
have to
some
lose
battles to
certain
win the
battles.
bigger war. Absolutely. Yes.
Exactly. So you have to make them believe that they won, right? And even though that goes against every atom inside me, and every atom inside me is shouting, hey, you stupid, give them this answer, hey,
Yeah.
tell them. And
You
I was
have
like,
to
no,
swallow your pride, tongue in cheek, bite your words, and be like, what do you think about this? Maybe, but or not. Keep quiet.
exactly. So you have to, like, and then there's a moment of bam when they will be like, okay, we are going to present you with this scholar, and he is going to come, and let's come and sit. And then you sit, and then you talk, and you destroy and obliterate that guy. And then slow, gradual progression. And then that is why I created, I I have been banned in 3 mosques.
Oh
The real me
wow.
is banned in 3 mosques. I can't enter them.
Why
So
is that, Adam?
uh, skip that part. Why? So I have
Okay, okay.
so
Moving on quickly. Yeah.
the whole idea is, if I can't even get my immediate family to realize the truth and the falseness in Islam, how can I work with the 100 people? How can I work with the people that I don't even know? Right? So the first people that I worked with were my own immediate family. I got all of them out. The benefit that I have, which a lot
Wow,
of
wow,
Muslims do not
wow.
have, is that a lot of Muslims families are just believers. They don't read, they don't study, they don't go to madrasa, they do not have the actual context of the text. They don't have it. The benefit that I had is that from my mom to everyone, they were all like, I'm talking about mom, I'm not talking about my father. You need to understand this fact. Not talking about the males, I'm talking about the females of the house. They had the interaction and study classes of Islam. They knew what they were going to. So the benefit for that made me give them the references from the tafsir, made me tell them, hey, this guy did not tell you everything. This lady did not tell you everything. This this alima did not tell you everything. Read this. Read the full context. So that was a benefit, I think, for me. The more devout family you have, the more easy it is to get them out of Islam, because they know what tafsir is. They know that they cannot comprehend Quran without the tafsir. They know that they cannot fully understand Quran without the Sahih hadiths. So now that benefit gave me an edge. Let me just put it this way, and that made me do things which others cannot do. But once again, this is what it is. So I created so much of a text that I was like, I need to put it out somewhere. I
Wait, so
had to put it
Adam,
out
hold on,
somewhere.
sorry, I'm going to stop you again because this is incredible. Like, even in the comments, somebody was like, wow, because for me, you're glossing over it like it's just, part and parcel of your journey. But this is huge because, this is knowledge to me that actually you make a good point. It could potentially, like in your case, it worked. It could be easier to get your family out of Islam if they are devout Muslims because they are already aware of the text. You don't have to try and prove to them that the tafsir exists and it has meaning, or that that this hadith has meaning, or a daif hadith still has some kind of meaning according to Al-Azhar University of being acceptable. Like, you don't have to go there because they know all of this. So I guess you have a level playing field, and then if they know those sources, they can't deny them as being, I guess, weak or being like, fabricated or whatever, because they know that to rely on the Quran or to get the full context, you require some tafsir or you require this. And so they're on a level playing field. So how can they deny what they see then? Is that kind of what's happening here? Because for more liberal parents, like for my family, they're so liberal that I mean, this happened after 9/11, but my parents went towards Sufi Islam to kind of move away from the Wahhabi Islam. Yeah, I know. And I followed Adam. Like we went from living in Saudi, so we saw Wahhabi Islam around us. Then 9/11 happened, and then even Sunni Islam was getting too much for my parents, and they started looking into Sufi Islam. And I was so happy because I always thought Islam was too much. And I read some stupid Sufi book that said, "Oh, basically in Sufism, love is God and God is love." So I remember I was saying this in my other video. I was so
And the
excited
Quran
when I
doesn't say that, by the way, FYI.
never,
Quran doesn't
dude,
say that God
never,
is love.
no, never, never. The Quran, if anything, says like the most merciful, most gracious, but then he'll also f you up, like in the next,
There are
Um,
11 verses in the Quran which says Allah does not love. Allah does not
yeah,
love. Allah does not love. Allah does not love. Allah does not. There are only 4 verses where Quran says Allah loves the mu'mineens. Allah loves
yeah,
the doers of the good. And what is good? Allah, like this is crazy. This is
yeah.
crazy. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I saw somebody said like they did a chart of how many times the word love and versus like hate and kill comes up in the Quran, and there's like literally the balance is so off, which makes sense because somebody like me who was always more like I would say if I wasn't so staunchly atheistic in my beliefs right now, I would be a lot more on the spiritual side and I would be exploring that God is love stuff because my natural tendency was always that way. Islam's God was always so like totalitarian, like some fascist crazy like abusive psychopathic guy. Anyway, I was going to say, so that's really interesting that maybe the religiosity is a catalyst into leaving the religion quicker. That's super interesting. And second of all, kudos to you and massive hats off that even Prophet Muhammad says, Adam, charity begins at home. And you began your charity at home by getting your parents and your family out of Islam first. But as a woman, also, that's a huge deal for me because I'm not sure and I don't want to speculate, but let's just assume if you have sisters or if you have cousins that are girls or if you even have like nieces in the future or currently whatever, basically the more people in your close circle that you're getting out of Islam, especially the women, Adam, these women are not going to now raise their children the way that you were raised or I was raised, right? So let's say hopefully they wouldn't even be tempted to marry a Muslim man that's that strict. So you're essentially
That's the
saving
problem.
generations here. Do you see what I mean?
No, but like that's a bigger problem for me. Now,
Mm,
that is actually a bigger problem. So my extended family in Pakistan, I cannot work with them to an extent. So I did started working with them, and then I realized that this is stupidity. Like they can go to a certain extent, but as a female in Pakistan, married to a Muslim male, I'm going to destroy her family. I'm going to destroy her. I'm going to destroy everything. She'll be killed probably, and nobody will know. And everyone will know. Oh, a gas explosion happened, and she was burned. Like I had to personally restrain myself to go to certain extent with that extended family because like I don't have the power. I'm out of that hell if the time comes to. So that restrained me to that particular extent. Like you know what a female is in Pakistan. You as a female know what a female is in Pakistan. Nobody will know that it wasn't a accident. It will be an accident, and nobody will know. So that's the problem, and that is why my limit ends. Like I don't want to hear in my life that because of me an XYZ person has died. You know what I mean? Like when I do
oh yeah,
certain
for
work,
sure.
I say that revolution requires blood. A any revolution in the world, it requires blood. It requires blood. Okay, I know that. But I am trying my best that this revolution somehow does not link that bloodshed to me because I don't know if I will be able to live my life with that that feeling that it's because of me. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely,
just
Adam. Unlike
it's
Muhammad.
oh man, forget Muhammad. Is like I don't can't please don't even compare me with.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is the like, you guys are at opposite ends of the spectrum. Do you see, like, you are sitting on something which is so detrimental to humanity, but you're so careful to safeguard the truth just in case, like, a droplet of blood is spilt, whereas the thing that you're keeping quiet about has spilt that much blood that is still every single woman that is being killed in the name of hijab, every single woman that's being honor killed, every man that is being burned for blasphemy, every single man that's being circumcised, every woman that's going through FGM, it's all in the name of Islam. So yeah, it's crazy to me that you have to, you like, again, a country like Pakistan, you have to be so sensitive about the repercussions of, again, this is what I'm saying, this is not a religion by any standards. If by telling somebody what you believe to be the truth could land up in these consequences for that, especially like a woman in Pakistan, I'm sorry, it is probably one of the hardest positions to maintain, is to be an ex-Muslim, free-thinking woman in Pakistan. Everything is rigged against you. Everything. From the second you wake up till the second you go to sleep, it's against you. I don't know how anybody would do that. So yeah, I can see, Adam, this is I mean, hats off for you to even try and reach out to family there and fix things like that. But you know, ironically, if you can't reach like those women relatives from your close family, the work that you're doing to wake up the general masses of, let's say, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, whoever speaks Urdu, Hindi, whatever, Punjabi, they like, what you're doing is like having repercussions like tenfold, 100-fold. You know what I mean?
Thank you so very much. Yes, I'm trying my best to do what I can with my hands tied behind my back, quite frankly. And my hands are tied behind my back because of the fact that the power that I don't have, which can safeguard these people. Even
Mm.
the humanist organizations, they will only pick up certain groups who has some, these humanist organizations. And let me be very frank over here with you. These humanist organizations, they don't pick up any case. They pick up the case which has some media influence. Okay. So because obviously they have to show that we, as a non-profit, so-called, quotes and quotes, I can't show my face, hands right now, but like quotes and quotes, uh, they have to show that they are doing
I did
something.
it for you. They're
Thank
doing
you so very
something.
much. Appreciate
Okay.
appreciate it. Quotes and quotes, like, like the whole idea is that there are 90% ex-Muslims in Pakistan who are being persecuted, but they are not on screen, they are not on the social media, they are not on the media. Hence, their life doesn't matter for these humanist organizations, because how can they prove X, Y, and Z things? And I'm not going to mention the things because obviously I have these different talks with them as well. So the problem is this: like Pakistan, getting thing getting people out of Pakistan is almost impossible. It's almost impossible. And you're talking to me that a person living in a smaller city, let's just put it this way, female, having a few kids, how can you get them out? I have I have 70 years old females leaving Islam. I have 35 years old female leaving Islam. Problem is, and they tell them, they beg me, they're like, do something. And I was like, my hands are tied behind my back. What can I do? I can't do this. And that is where the problem is. Give me an organization and I will give you a million ex-Muslim every year. Can you stand up with me? They can't. They don't. They don't have the resources. They don't have the money. They don't have the power. They can't. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there, Adam. And like, it's actually sad and it's depressing when I begin to think about the number of, let's say, perfectly um, poised asylum seekers, or um, people who are genuinely in fear of their lives, who are trying to leave Pakistan because they've left a religion behind, or let's say they are. from the LGB community or anything like that, and their lives are at risk. And again, I always call out in like the UK for not moving quick enough, and like you said, not taking on cases unless it's in the public interest or it's, it's going to cause headlines around the world, or unless you've got enough media attention to garner them to, have like the due pressure put on them to take your case. It's awful because we have genuine people trying to leave Pakistan and seeking asylum here in the UK, where they're saying that if I go back to this village or even if I go back to this city, my life is at risk. Now, the UK authorities aren't even really aware of the religious differences between village to village, or they don't understand that when they reject an asylum seeker, let's say a marginalized Pakistani from the Ahmadi community or the Christian community or the Hindu community in Pakistan, and they've come to get asylum in the UK, and the UK just rejects it and says, well, instead of seeking asylum in the UK, you can just move to this other city and you'll be safe. Now, our country studies are so old and so out of date and so not in tune with the grassroots issues that are happening in that country today, that we're essentially sending people back to have their lives ended because we don't understand what's happening border to border, village to village, country, city to city. There are sects even with Islam. The levels of blasphemy now, it's a joke. And obviously, like, again, we've got migration problems in the UK. I'm not saying that we should have like this open-ended approach, but where there's asylum seekers like this who are genuine, who need our help, we should not be giving preference to people who don't fit the bill. These are the cases that should be taken very seriously, because these women they don't even have shelters to go to in Pakistan, really. That's like a novelty. How many women shelters or refuges or any organization that will accept you for freedom from religion? I don't think the concept of freedom from religion is even on people's lips in Pakistan. It's just, yeah. Anyway, this yeah, obviously I knew the stream would kind of veer off into stuff with Pakistan. But yeah, I just think whatever you're doing, Adam, from the power that you have from behind a screen, like, it's worth more than you being like with your boots on the ground there, because I'm sorry to say they would burn you in an instant like they've done with those other
Oh,
guys. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is the fight you've taken on. This is who you're dealing with. So,
And I
yeah.
know exactly what I was doing, and that is exactly what I did. So coming back to the same old question. So once I did that, I was like, let me open up a Facebook channel. I had no idea about YouTube, and I didn't
Yes.
want to, because YouTube was all about voice, and I wanted to not do voice. And I went on Facebook, and I was like, I started doing textual discussions. You know what Facebook is? Facebook is a absolute disaster.
Hmm.
These people will click on your comment and will report,
Yeah.
and
Mass
Facebook will
report.
start to give you, warning, then 1 day ban, then 3 days ban, then 7 days ban. So in less than 6 months, I got warning, then 1 day ban, 3 day ban, and then 7 day ban from posting anything. And the next ban was 28 days. During this time where I was the 6 months, I was like, okay, there were some guys who does Facebook live streams. There's a guy from Israel who is an ex-Muslim. His name is Hussein Mashni. He invited me to his Facebook live stream. There's a Facebook live stream as well. And there I gave him my story. And because I came in voice, and I was like, okay, why can't I do Facebook live stream? So I started doing Facebook live streams. And in the Facebook live streams, I was like, okay, now if my text is being criticized as hate preach or whatever, let's do videos. So when somebody responds back, I make a short live stream and reply to that person with short live stream. My live streams were what, 30 minutes long, 15 minutes long, 20 minutes long. That's it. Short live stream. And I would reply with my live stream. I was moderating over 20 groups and at least 30 Facebook pages. So in Facebook, you have groups and pages. And that's what I was doing. You know what they did? These guys from Muslim groups, they created a death certificate of mine and they sent the death certificate to Facebook saying Adam Seeker is dead. They literally created a fake death certificate. So one day I woke up and I clicked my Facebook, and you know what I see? Hey, you cannot log into Facebook. You have to do this, this, and this to log into Facebook. And just 2 weeks ago, I had created my YouTube channel. Just 2 weeks ago. And that's when I started coming into YouTube. And if you go to my YouTube videos, you will see Adam Seeker is dead. That's my video. And that is when I stopped doing Facebook. Then I created another Facebook account with a Facebook page named Adam Seeker, and I started working on that. But at the end of the day, this is the reality of them because they can't answer and they want to stop me from speaking the truth. They want to just finish my voice. They just want to finish my voice, and that's what they did, at least on Facebook. That the groups that I was working with, the all of those things, yeah, they had the power to do this because they wanted to expose who I am, and I didn't want to expose who I am. And that ended my Facebook career. So now I have Facebook page called Adam Seeker, but that's all what I have right now. It's just a small page where people on the Facebook can come up and see, but I'm not moderating anything on Facebook.
Is that what propelled you to come towards YouTube then, Adam?
Exactly, I'll show it to you. Like there was uh this is my video where, let me just see, hold on, how old is it? This is January 7th, 2021. That's when they pronounced me dead. Let me show it to you. There you go.
Jesus
And I made a
Christ, Adam,
video
what would it
in
be like to
YouTube. I made a
what
video.
what would it be
I'm
like
dead.
to see your own death?
Yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead. Thanks to Facebook. So this is me, and this is my. I'm just turning off the volume right now because I played a song behind it. I don't want your channel to get a copyright uh, for the song. So this is it.
Thank you.
In memory, we hope people who love Adam will find comfort in visiting his profile to remember and celebrate his life, learn about the legacy content setting in memorialized account on Facebook. There you go. So my account was made a memorized account while I'm still alive. And what they want is Facebook said
That's
send us a
wild.
picture with your ID card in your hand which shows first name Adam, last name Seeker. Imagine this, you idiots! Who will have a first name Adam, last name Seeker?
Exactly. Oh my god. What the hell? Adam, I didn't know this about oh my god, this is actually wild. Remember, this is you've attended your own funeral in your life. How crazy is that?
Ah, Alhamdulillah. So this is what happens. These Muslims, because I was in a group and those groups were run by the Muslim scholars and Ummah of the scholars, and they pronounced me dead. And I did a small live stream, 6 minutes on this one, and I showed that I'm dead. There you go, I'm dead. I'm dead. So I attended my
Jeez.
own funeral here.
Yeah, yeah. You all could have read your own namaz janaza.
so, so the whole idea is that you you have to come on voice. You have to say that. You have to tell the truth. And they cannot defend you. They cannot defend you. These so-called white Muslims who accepted Islam, they cannot defend you. And most of them, like I have in Facebook, ex-Marine of America. So Marine is the top-notch commandos kind of a thing in America. Marines
Yeah.
can go anywhere. He's an ex-Marine who was a Muslim, and I've shown on my Facebook and on my YouTube as well. He proclaimed openly, if you ever come to California, he lives in California. He said he's gonna kill me on the spot. And he is a Marine veteran of United States of America.
What on
Yes,
earth?
openly
What? Why?
on Facebook. Like
Because
this
Islam
is the
mean it.
level.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
It's
no,
right there.
Adam, my literally, yeah, definitely do not be showing your face anytime soon. These people are wild. It's because somebody said here, D said they're so threatened. And I'm telling you, it's genuinely because the way that you flick through their Islamic sources, and I know that they knew that this was going to be uncovered, like from the beginning of this, there's holes in the narrative. That was like the beginning of the end of like Islamic dawah as we know it, or Islamic apologetics, because I'm sorry to say, well, I'm not sorry to say, I'm very glad to say, but Christian polemics kind of destroyed Islam a long time ago. But then it was people who were like born into Muslim faiths, like myself. I actually had to rely on a lot of those Christian arguments when they tried to take down Islam, because they were the ones who tried to have access to these documents beforehand. So like now when you just come and you're opening up like, Tabri and this and these like random hadiths or whatever, and again we're seeing them, we put them out in, you do it in Urdu as well, in Hindi and whatever, but I do it in English. And Adam, you see right day by day that like they try and censor you on these social media platforms, but they're also censoring their own sources now online. Like
Yeah.
they're adding more brackets, they're taking away things. So I tell everybody like screenshot some of, because what we're doing now on our channels in 5-10 years, if I type sunnah.com, the same thing is not going to be available like we're searching today. And this is what they want. They want to shut down this movement before it gets out there. But I feel like, do you not feel like, Adam, it's too late? Like we're already, we've kind of broken down that boundary of the information's out there. Like
Oh,
if this
they are
Marine is threatening
removing.
you like that, if you kill one Adam, you're going to give rise to 10 new Adams, 100 new Adams,
That's exactly what I want, and I'm working on that. I'm spending a lot of money in creating a learning management system to create hundreds of atoms. And I'm working on that project right now. And at the same time, I'm working on a project where you would see that in Sunnah.com, they are changing the English translations left, right, and center. And
At a
I'm
very
working.
rapid rate, Adam. It's an alarmingly rapid rate.
Exactly, and they are removing the Arabic sources. So yesterday, day before yesterday, I was doing a stream. Every Tuesday, I do a stream at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Every Thursday, I do a stream at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So I did a stream day before yesterday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, and there was a source in Arabic in alim.org, and I was showing the source live, and the source had no Arabic in it. I was like, what happened? So I had to go to altafsir.com live while I was showing it. They just
Yeah.
removed the Arabic source. So I had to go to another website to show them the Arabic source. This was so disgusting, and they just removed the Arabic. So one thing is called translation, changing the translation. One thing is removing the even the Arabic source. They are removing the Arabic source from the web, and that is why you have to have the PDF books as well. Another time, a month ago, I was doing a stream when Muhammad went on the Burak. He went to Masjid al-Aqsa, tied his donkey slash mule slash horse with wings on in the same location where so-called prophets used to tie their donkeys, and then went into Masjid al-Aqsa and offered 2 rakah prayer before he ascended to heaven. And that source is no more there in Urdu tafsir
Stop.
of Ibn
Stop
Kathir.
it. Are you
So I,
serious?
while yes, 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 while I was live, I had to like, okay, this Urdu tafsir doesn't have it anymore. Wait, I showed them, the people live, my old video where I had shown that. I said, look, it was here. Check this old video. Then I went in and I showed them the PDF that it is there in the PDF. They are removing their sources from the web.
Oh my
They,
gosh. Yeah. I just didn't real like I knew it was quick, but Adam, this is bad. This is bad. Then we like the pushback needs to be a lot harder. We need to be making like, hard drives of this stuff. We need to be downloading it like crazy. Like you said, we need to be making AI memorize this because they are good. This is the best thing to discredit anything we're trying to say about it. Once you get rid of that Arabic, we can't even access it.
don't worry, I have a lot of website completely ciphered. Making an AI engine on top of that. I'm working with some developers. I'm financing them to do these things. The whole idea is that by the before the end of this year, I will have a website where you can search. So when you ask ChatGPT does not give you an answer. For example, ask
No. It
ChatGPT,
lied
what
to
was the
me. It
age of
lied to me about
Aisha?
the Quran. Yes.
Yeah, ask what was the age of Aisha when Muhammad? Some says she was 9, but some says she was 8. Who some says she was 18? Chat
Yeah.
GPT, you stupid idiot. So I'm making another. I have done 20 website ciphering. We are indexing them. Then we are writing we're doing a lot of work in the background. A lot of money is being spent, which means thousands and thousands of pounds that we are being shoved into this to create something where people can get the data, raw data. Nobody says she was 18. That is stupidity. I challenge each and every scholar of Islam from anywhere in this world. Give me one solid argument from any book that she was 18. By the way, remember this very important point, and I'm not going to give you the book. The same book that you are going to use as a reference without the chain of narrations, I am going to use the same book with chain of narrations that she was 9. That's the beauty of it.
Exactly. Touche. No, it's as simple, Adam. It's as simple as that. This argument is so stupid. She was 16, she was 18. There's this work's been done, there's deduction. Puberty started early back then. No. Your same exact, actually closer scripture can be used to debunk that right there. So, what do you say about? And honestly, I'm sorry, but like we come from a Sunni background. I know we weren't taught that necessarily. I was never told about Aisha's age. Were you, Adam, ever told?
Yeah,
As a young kid, were you told that Muhammad
yeah,
married her
yeah,
at
yeah,
really? You knew that?
yeah. I knew that.
Oh,
That
I did not
never
know
that never
that.
changed. That never changed my belief system, because
Oh,
there's
wow.
another thing that you need to understand, that at a childhood level you are being told something. So for
Yes,
example,
yeah.
let me tell you something. Pork, eating pork. A Western uh, Christian, atheist, secular person, whatever, will never have an issue in eating pork. Muslims eat animals. Why when they leave Islam even? Why can't they eat pork for years?
Exactly. And Adam, I'm testament to that. I've left Islam about 6.5 years ago now, and I still can't like fully order like a pork dish or eat it. Like I'll eat
So whenever
bacon,
you and
but I
me will
can't.
eat, we will have short ribs together, because the first thing that I had after leaving Islam was pork, and I was like, anything that Allah said is not allowed, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna eat pork. I'm gonna drink wine. I'm gonna drink alcohol. I'm gonna do every stupid thing that Allah has. Because, like, and I was puking when I was eating pork. I was like, ow,
Oh,
ow,
oh my God.
like, I have to eat it.
But you're
Because
so wanting to go against Allah that you're willing to gag and like ingest this pork just to go against Islam. I love it.
exactly, I eat everything. I eat any other animal, but I cannot eat pork. Why? Because Allah said so, and it was embedded in my brain, and I wanted to finish it. I wanted to finish this embezzlement in my. It's just, you have to do it. Like, an ex-Muslim is not an ex-Muslim until he can eat pork for me. Like
No, so
for
Adam,
me.
I completely agree. And listen, like when I was a kid growing up in England, I would always see like this pepperami sausage, yeah, and I would always want it because I love eat. Oh, sorry to the vegans and vegetarians. I like I'm a big meat eater. Okay, yeah, it's just the way I've been brought up. I'm sorry. I will try. I'm working on it. But anyway, so I would always see this pepperami, and I would look at it, and the adverts on TV were so good, and I knew it was fully haram, like it was full on pork. So the first thing when I left Islam was to sneak to the corner shop and buy that. And I was literally in the alleyway, like I was doing some drugs or something, when I was eating this like sausage. And I remember eating it, and I was so happy that I was finally able to like taste what the hell, what was all the hype in these ads? Why did all the white kids at school made it look so good, and I could never try it? And honestly speaking, it wasn't that great. So I was like, oh, I don't think I was missing that much. But then people told me about bacon, and I was like, oh, I 100% agree. Like turkey bacon and all this stuff I used to eat in Dubai, like halal turkey bacon is what we get there. It's nothing, not a patch
That's not even a
on
bacon.
the exactly. It's not even bacon. But I'm sure, Adam, like literally in the Dubai supermarkets, yeah, me and my brother, we would like joke because we'd go to the supermarket and it would say pork section, non-Muslims only. And me and my brother were young and we would like dare each other, like, I dare you to cross the line. And like I'd put a foot across and then he'd push me in, or like I would push him in. And we're like, oh my God, you've done something so big. You went to the pork section for non-Muslims. Like, like stupid things like that. But for me, in terms of like all of the rules that Islam sets and it's so governing in your life, even being such a kind of meat lover myself, because all of those other things were still allowed, and Islam has really no prescriptions on even seafood. Like even the Jewish faith and stuff has more prescriptions with shellfish. It's like Muhammad didn't care. He's like, everything in the sea is halal, everything under the ocean. So, or that's what I was
No, but
told
like
anyway.
imagine this.
But
How is it halal?
I have
You
no
don't you
idea,
don't
but
do
there's no
zipia.
ruling
You
on
don't do
it,
zipia. You
right?
don't do anything. So he
But
just took it there, and
yeah,
that's
because
it.
he didn't care. He didn't know. He didn't bother to think about it. He's just like, oh yeah, anything under the sea, fine, it's halal. Because the Jewish people were already like have the no hooves thing or the split hooves thing. So Islam was kind of like Muhammad's like, what do I do? But the sea was not on his mind clearly, which was weird. But Adam, like, would you not say in terms of Islam, like with all the rules we had, because we could still eat like meat, chicken, goat, whatever, and there's other like weird rulings and other stuff,
And
right? But
donkeys. Muhammad ate donkeys as well.
and
Please don't miss the
camels,
donkeys.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Donkeys
like
are
it
very
didn't.
important.
Did he really eat? Okay, wow. I don't know how many donkeys he ate in
Really?
his
You don't
time.
know about
Yeah,
donkeys? Oh
no,
my
his poor
God.
donkeys. But like I knew that he barely had like there were times where they really didn't have much to eat. Like there's times where his wives were saying, we barely had like some bread or whatever. So there were times when Muhammad was not going to bed on a full stomach, like well fed. That's why no wonder, like in my opinion, like when you get offered meat by like that Jewish woman or something, you would take it, even if it's going to potentially poison you and kill you. Like festival when you have some time to celebrate and there's actually meat in the equation, it makes sense. um but yeah, so I guess for me, like pork is just I'm working my way through it, but in terms of all the rules that Islam instilled, pork was not that big of a thing. But you're right, I try now and I order it on purpose to like to rewire my brain, because the only reason that I feel sick while I'm eating it is because everything I've been told as a child, that like pigs eat their own shit and they're so dirty, and I know all of this stuff is like, pigs can be the cleanliest if they're farmed in the right way or if they're left free range and all of this stuff. But yeah, it just shows you Islam's conditioning.
Yep.
Um, I did
Check this
want to
out.
just
You
yeah,
you
go on.
love this before we move forward, because
Sure.
donkeys. I love donkeys. Okay, Muhammad loved donkeys. So check this out. You like it?